All right, guys, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. Two-man show today. Brian Leonard has a doctor's appointment. He will be back tomorrow with us. So TB and I are holding it down today. We've got two games to talk about, maybe some takeaways from yesterday's game and a look ahead to tomorrow. I will say I got to address two things, TB. Someone in the comments is like, Trig, you wear the same shirt every day. And I said, you know what? Our great home office got these really nice polos and sent me about 5 of them and said, hey, you're the host. We want our hosts wearing the WagerTalk, gear. So I've been wearing them at pretty much on a daily basis. But TB, I said, once it's college basketball season, like I can't do that because part of my bit is wearing all the gear that I accumulate from all these different campuses. So I said, you know what? Person in the chat that commented on my wardrobe, I said, it's almost time. We're less than a month away from college basketball. Time to bust out some of the gear. So today I went with the UMass Lowell Riverhawks hoodie, TB. Have you ever been to Lowell, Mass? Have you ever been to Massachusetts at all?
I have been to Boston one time, but it was a long time ago on a business trip. East Coast, I've only been to the East Coast one time, and it was that same business trip. I went to DC, New York City, and Boston. And actually, I also have a friend in Hagerstown, Maryland. So I've been to Maryland as well. So
very nice. Yeah, Lowell's about an hour from Boston. I would say that's probably their redeeming quality is the accessibility from Boston. I don't know if I feel like I need to go back, but hey, it was I like each campus for what it is. Very old, small gym that they had, and I went to one of their playoff type games, and it was awesome. Great atmosphere. So shout out Lowell, Mass. And
you are
TV, let's talk.
Yeah, you're very active in the college basketball scene, going from arena to what are you trying to like hit every single arena in America before you're before you're 90?
Before I die. Yeah, at some point. So I think I'm at
like
65.
2 years ago, you went on a tour. You were like a different place, like every 2 days or something. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing that this year as well. So okay. If you're in the chat, we're gonna BS for a second because we want to make sure people have time to get in. I know we just put the link up. We are doing a show today. We will be with you every weekday. So just some confusion on the schedule, I'll clear up. Every weekday that we have Major League Baseball games, we'll be doing a total basis. So that's for the rest of the year. So you can plan on total basis as long as there's games. If we get a day where there's no games, then we won't have a show. But yeah, TB, I'll be all around. I'm at 65 different Division I college arenas, campuses, if you will, and I'm doing a bunch more this year. 65. So if I'm ever out and you're in town and I'm in your town, hit me up. We'll get you out to a game. I've probably met 10 or 15 different WagerTalk folks that like client subscribers just in my travels. Last year, Steven Lambert, shout out Steven. He came to Grand Canyon with me. We had a great time. Met another one of our followers in Akron. Like it's been fun. So I'll see you
Grand Canyon,
guys
you went to
out.
Arizona?
I did TV. Yeah, I actually did
Grand
last year.
Canyon, yeah.
I did Grand Canyon. I did Northern Arizona, which is up in Flagstaff. Have you been to
Yeah.
Flagstaff?
It's about 2 hours from Phoenix. Yeah. I've been there a couple times. You know, the altitude there is crazy. My dad, before he passed away, he had a cabin up there, and I went with him to his cabin, and I couldn't sleep because I couldn't breathe. The altitude was crazy. I was like trying to go to
Yeah.
sleep. It was crazy.
It's funny that you say that because I went, so I think it was there in January. I landed in Phoenix. It was still pretty nice in Phoenix. I got to Flagstaff. It was like cold, like real cold. Like it
It's
was like,
totally different. Yeah,
yeah,
Flagstaff's way up in the mountains. People like go up there to like ski and stuff. Yeah, it's
yeah.
2 hours from Phoenix, but it's night and day. It's like it's closer to Utah than it is
Yep.
Phoenix. So yeah.
So what I did was I did Phoenix. I drove to Flagstaff. I then drove to Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is awesome. Highly recommend Albuquerque. And
Never
then I
been to
drove
New
back
Mexico.
to Phoenix. So I did 3. That's kind of what I'm going for, like 3 games in 3 days.
Hmm.
I'll probably do that a bunch this year. And one more promo, 2 promos. One, it's $5 Tuesday. So keep an eye out on the site. Every play that we make today is going to be up for $5. 2, I'm going to have a college basketball show very similar to this show. It'll be myself, Brian Power, and Rob Vino, and we're going to basically do the same thing. Just kick around college basketball games for an hour until they say get off. The next show's got to start. So that's the plan. 3, TB. Slick Vic in the chat says, I think his favorite team is Siena. That is correct. I don't have many favorite teams. I really don't have one in any sport except for college basketball because, of course, I went to Siena. So I got to rep the alma mater right there. So, yes, that would be my favorite team. I try not to let that creep into the handicapping, but I can't lie. It's tough to root against them.
I went to Arizona.
Go ahead.
So of course I like their basketball and football, but not a lot to cheer for. But yeah, since when you're a professional capper, you have to separate that from everything else. The first NFL game I ever went to was actually a Tampa Bay game. So I was like 6 years old. I visited my friend in Tampa and we went to a Tampa Bay game. The Orange Unis, I fell in love with them. So I've been a Tampa Bay fan ever since I was.
Did you see they brought them back this weekend? The Orange Unis were back.
Awesome. They did the white ones. Looked really cool too.
I agree.
Love it. Baker Mayfield looks great.
I couldn't agree more. It's time for I'm all for like a total change back to those for Tampa Bay. Those
I agree. And let's talk about baseball uniforms for a minute. If you go back to the 80s, baseball uniforms were so much better back then, you know, like the Braves when they were light blue with the red A, and you know, even the Pirates with Kent Tekulve with the wicked striped caps and stuff. And uniforms were so good. Why did they get all whitewashed and everyone's like gray and black now? It's so lame.
That's the Kent Tekulve reference. I actually had a kid, so I was talking yesterday. We host summer league kids here. That's my father-in-law has been doing it for years. We have a summer league college team in Sherrill, New York, and one of the kids, I believe, went to Marietta College in Ohio, and he comes in and he's like, our most famous baseball player is Kent Tekulve. And I was just like, not what I was expecting a 20-year-old to
He
say.
was like 60 pounds.
Yeah.
But he ripped it pretty good. Yeah.
Great reliever for the Pirates, if you don't know.
Yes, he was.
If you don't know who
he looked
is.
like a chemical scientist or something, but yeah. I got to give props to the Padres because they actually went back to their 70s uniforms recently, and they look much better brown and gold than they did in the Tony Gwynn era when they were like went to like gray and orange, kind of weird. So props to the Padres for going back to their 70s uniforms. Love it.
TB and now we it looks like we've got the normal the normal contingent that's usually in at the start of the show. I just tweeted the link. We'll start talking some baseball, but that's all right. You know, we have a little bit of extra time today. But Slick Vic says, what team has the best chance of sweeping? And what I want to talk to you about first, so why don't we just kind of look back at yesterday? I ended up on the Brewers. I feel like you and I kind of both agreed Dodgers Brewers yesterday. They both hit.
We did.
I think one of those two teams, if not both, would be the team to sweep. What about you? Let's answer Slick Vic's question. Who do you think has the best chance for a sweep right here?
Best chance to sweep, I think, is the Dodgers because, man, they look good. And look, Dave Roberts proved why he's the worst manager in baseball. Why in the world would you put Blake Trinan in that situation? Actually, why is he even on the roster for the wild card series? I mean, or for this series? He had like a 8+ ERA in the regular. I mean, as a manager, you are not a shrink for these players. You don't put them in games to get their head right. You're managing the team to win the game. There was no reason to put Blake Trinan in that situation. Vesia is much better pitcher. Vesia actually looked pretty shaky too. I had to take him out and finish it with Roki, but I think the Dodgers have the best chance. I know the Phillies are a juggernaut. They're a really good team, but like we discussed yesterday, in the playoffs, your 6, 7, 8, 9 guys have to pick up the slack when your top 3 guys are not hitting. And I just don't think the Phillies 6, 7, 8, 9 guys are able to do that. Like Marsh and those guys. Look, the Dodgers, you got Hernandez, you've got Pages, you've got Will Smith, the second best catcher in MLB, is hitting like 8 in that lineup. It's just that they're 6, 7, 8, 9 are just so much better than the Phillies, in my opinion.
Huge for Will Smith to be back for the Dodgers. I don't think that's gotten enough attention. That is massive. I believe it was
second best catcher in MLB. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 I think an 850 OPS against left-handed pitching, which is huge. I think Ben Rortvedt was the guy getting most of those at bats. I mean, that's night and day. And then of course you talk about it in the context of like a Dodgers team that already has an embarrassment of riches, right? I mean, you already got Ohtani, you already have Freeman, Mookie Betts, and then to get another player of that caliber back. I think to answer,
I'm gonna highlight this comment here, because I don't think Nola has been himself this season. So I'm gonna disagree with you, Steve-O. I don't think Nola's been himself.
I think Steve-O's saying because of Nola, the Dodgers have the best chance.
Maybe
Steve-O, clarify that in the comments. The way I read that was he thinks the Dodgers have the best chance to sweep because he's okay going against Nola.
Yeah. I mean, Nola's a good pitcher. Nola's a good pitcher, but he hasn't been himself this season. Like last year, he's pretty shut down. I wouldn't say he was elite, but he was on the precipice of being elite. And this season, I mean, I think he's been injured off and on. And he has been injured a little bit off and on. I just don't think he's been himself. I think Yamamoto has an advantage, but we'll get to this game later on. But
I think I think that the question itself.
Okay, there we go. He clarified it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you, Steve-O. I think with Nola and Yamamoto, I think So you're agreeing with me. Got it. Okay.
The odds would suggest that it's a pretty much a no-brainer. You're going to have Yamamoto at home. Dodgers will be favored. The odds certainly suggest that is the series most likely to end in the sweep. I could see the Cubs maybe getting one at home, but I will go back. There's another gentleman in the chat commented like, man, this Brewers team, like they're just different. Like I kind of agree that yesterday on the video our replay video, we had one of our followers jumped in and did a great like sort of analysis of like this Brewers team in comparison to like the Brewers team from maybe like last year, or just how they're much more of a contender. I thought that was great. You can find that on the replay of yesterday's show. And I just want to say to that person, I very much agree. I had a couple friends that were at those games in Milwaukee last night and then 2 days ago. And from all accounts, it feels different than last year. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Brewers swept, but I think I could see maybe the Cubs stealing Game 3 at Wrigley. But I do think that those two, I think we're going to see a Brewers-Dodgers NLCS. I think I'm confident in saying that.
Yeah, the thing about the Brewers, like we said it on the show yesterday, we were both right about the Dodgers, and we were kind of both right about the Brewers. We predicted that Imanaga would struggle. What was it, like 6 games in a row he gave up 2 or more home runs, and we thought he would struggle. I had the Brewers team total in the first 5, which cashed in the second inning.
Bottom of the first inning.
There were 6 runs in the first inning. Yeah. So, but what is it about these Brewers? Let's talk about them for a second, because I went on a rant pre-All-Star and I said the Brewers season is done. Wow, I was wrong. But let's face it, they don't really have a lot of stars on this team. So are they overperforming or are they really this good? That's what I want to ask.
No, I just think that their collection of players is 1 through 9. They have great at bats. They have a ton of
Mhm.
team speed. I think they have the right mix of pitching in a lot of cases where, like last night, when we talked about the game on the show, they didn't even,
Yeah.
I don't even think they didn't need to burn Priester because I felt like the plan was, all right, let's see how far you can get with Ashby, and then we'll kind of mix and match. A couple people in the comments said, well, we think Priester will be the bulk guy. I was like, maybe, but like, I don't think they have their mind made up. They bring him Jacob Mizorowski coming out of the bullpen
Mizrahi.
throwing 102. I mean,
And
and
he
then
was
it's like,
amazing.
and then they're going to be able to come back with Priester in game 3. Obviously, not having Woodruff in this series, like I suppose, hurts a little bit, but they're very deep and will make the parallel. The Brewers remind me a lot of a team that we're going to talk about today. So we'll make the segue into today's games. I will say this. I think the drama is going to come from the American League. I think the drama is going to come from the American League, and we're going to start in Detroit today. And what I was going to tell you, Tokyo Brandon, is I think the Brewers and the Tigers are very similar, where they don't really have the superstars. You're almost like, how, you look at them and you're like, how are they still here? Why are they still a contender? How might they end up in the ALCS or NLCS respectively? But then you just look at, they're very well coached, they're very deep, and I think the coaching and the depth are the two things that can win you a playoff series when maybe you don't have the superior talent. That's
Mhm.
kind of how I feel about Tigers Mariners. Like, there's no question in my mind the Mariners are more talented,
Yes, they
but
are.
this Tigers team is deep. They've got a lot of pitching and they have a great coach. And now they're
Yep.
kind of in the driver's seat, in my opinion. 1-1, the series is back in Detroit and they're back at home. So talk to me about Mariners Tigers and what you're seeing.
Yeah. So of all the series that are left, I think this one's the tightest, actually, as far
Absolutely.
as talent. But you're right. I think Seattle has the better lineup. And Seattle, I thought, like mid-season, I thought they were kind of one of those teams of destiny. A team that you don't expect to be in the World Series, but they end up going there, like the Diamondbacks a couple years ago, like the Marlins a couple years ago.
Sure.
One of those teams, like a little guy who beats the giant, right? I thought they were looking like that, but losing Wu for the playoffs is tough. That's tough because that's why they lost the game yesterday. If Wu was healthy, they would have started him yesterday, I imagine, not Castillo. But man, these two teams are tight, and I my it's not a real complicated cap here. I think you take the underdog in every game here. Plus money means something in this series, I think. So both of these pitchers kind of get knocked around by the other batters throughout their career. Neither one of them have a really good OPS career-wise against the batters they're facing. And you look at the Tigers' home record, hard to argue with, 46-35. The Mariners actually have a losing record on the road. So I think Tigers with plus money is good value. I haven't put it out as a play, but I mean, I think either team getting plus money in this series, I think, is value. Whether you win the bet or not, it's definitely the right side, in my opinion. Gilbert, you would think, oh, Gilbert's better than Flaherty right off the bat. And you think, oh, well, Seattle's lineup is packed with Rodriguez and the best catcher in MLB. They added Suarez, or they got Suarez back from the Diamondbacks. But man, Tigers are a similar team. I mean, similar to the Brewers. I mean, not quite as good, but they're one of those teams that you don't know a lot of the names in the lineup, but they just play well. They're scrappy. I hate that word scrappy, but they are scrappy. I think with the pitchers kind of equal here. I don't know. I think either team getting plus money is value. And today the Tigers are getting plus money at home. They're 46-35 at home. Hard to argue with that.
Hey, I mean, if you played the plus money angle in this series so far, you're 2-0. The Tigers won as an underdog in game 1.
Right.
And then the Mariners turned around and won as an underdog and won game 2 and beat Scooble. Couple things here. Josh Naylor, he's not playing tonight. His wife's about to give birth and he's going to go and he's taking the paternity leave. That's really tough for the Mariners. Like, I listen, I'm not going to comment on that. I think he's entitled to do that if he wants to. But let's be honest though. That is regardless. Forget about like whether you think he should or not. Like that's irrelevant. The reality is he's he's a massive part of that Mariners lineup, especially against a right-handed pitcher like Flaherty. And now you're not going to have him in the lineup. So you are already talking, TB, how tight this series is. I think that is a massive loss for the Mariners in this game. Regardless of that, to not have him against Flaherty is a big blow to the Mariners lineup. Not saying they can't overcome it, but it's very, very, it's very relevant, I think, to maybe, who has the edge in this game. The other thing
if Lou was healthy, though, I think Seattle might even sweep this series.
Right. So that's the other thing. I talked about this yesterday with the Phillies. I said there's no way that the Phillies can overcome not having Zach Wheeler in a playoff series. I almost think it's similar to the Mariners. Like, Brian Wu is their best pitcher. I know you've got Logan Gilbert. We'll talk about him in a second. I know you've got, when Bryce Miller or George Kirby is on, they can be very good. But Brian Wu's the best pitcher on this in this rotation. You take him out.
He's number 3.
In my opinion, he's number 1.
He's the best number 3 guy in MLB, hands down.
Right. So that's the other thing here. The Mariners technically would have their ace on the mound tonight, or at least to everyone, and I think they consider their number 1, it's Logan Gilbert. But I've seen more things to dislike about Gilbert this season than Wu. So when I'm looking at Logan Gilbert, I see that hard hit rate really starting to creep up. Average exit velo for Logan Gilbert this year, bottom 10% in the league. That's concerning to me. It's because, and I think it's because, so I'll go back. I've said this a couple times. I think you're going to see Logan Gilbert have surgery in the offseason. I think he is giving his absolute all, pitching through the injury that he went on the IL with earlier this year. And I think he's leaving it all out there. And I think in the offseason, you'll end up seeing him have surgery that may actually cost him the start of next year. I think it explains, because remember, this guy, when he's on, go back to 2024, 208 innings, 220 strikeouts, a 0.89 whip. And then 2023 was almost, it was kind of similar in that regard. This year, the numbers are still good, but the ERA has creeped up a little bit. Of course, we don't care about ERA. He's still getting the strikeouts. He's not putting a ton of guys on base because he's got good command. He doesn't walk many batters, but it feels like when he misses, it's out over the plate. And that's why the hits are hard. Because remember, you get the low whip. He's not giving up a ton of base runners, but the exit velo being where it is, it means when he is giving up a hit, it's usually a rocket somewhere. In these types of series, like 1 or 2 big hits, you go back to the way that this Mariners team is constructed, they have no left-handed pitching. That really helps Green, and it really helps Kerry Carpenter, which is why I think the Tigers kind of have the edge in this series. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I think the dog is the way to look here.
And I would also lean to an over in this one because it's kind of a unwritten rule. Oh, Flaherty's great at home. But if you look at his splits, he has a better ERA at home, but it's still 4. It's not great. I think we're gonna see an over in this one as well, because I don't really like the Tigers bullpen that much. But in the playoffs, when you get a day off, everyone gets rested. You can use your best guys. This game is pivotal because it's tied 1-1. So you can bet they're going to use their best arms. But I think the starters get hit a little bit here.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. I'll comment. So, Steve-O, here's the thing. It's not my job to comment on whether what my opinion is on him missing the game. I'm not even going to. It's irrelevant to me. What my job is to evaluate the guys that we're going to have on the field and try to handicap the game. I don't care what. So if you want to talk about I think the locker room has his back 100%. Julio Rodriguez was talking a little bit. I think the locker room is very supportive of him. I don't care what his reason is or what the reason is. Him not being in the lineup hurts the Mariners here. I don't care how you look at it. It does not matter why he's not here. His absence against Jack Flaherty, which would be a very good matchup for him, is an advantage Tigers. Doesn't matter the reason. So, and I think the locker room very much has his back. I think it's one of those things where they're fired up for him. They'll band together. I'm just saying, that's a hole in the lineup that it now needs to be filled.
Yeah.
And I don't think the guy filling it, I don't think the replacement player, I wish Brian was here because he'd have that chart up on Fangraphs ready to reference it. The replacement player is not going to be as quality as Naylor, who's got like, what was he, top 10 in the league in batting average for most of the year. Probably a great matchup against Flaherty. So that hurts.
Nope, on the human side, your child's only born one time, and 4 years from now, Seattle's probably not going to remember this game. So,
right, and for us though,
it's the right decision to go watch your kid get born.
But that's not our job. Is not to care.
Captors. We don't care. The fact that he's out means Seattle has a disadvantage today. That's all.
Turnbuckle Tommy, I'm with you. This is another thing that really should be brought up before we move on. Gilbert hasn't been as good on the road, and that is to me like going back to Detroit. This is a fan base that thought this is a fan base. This is, I think, another good point here too. They thought they were going to win the division. Like it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that the Tigers were going to win the division. They didn't. What does that mean? Their team had to go to Cleveland and win a 3-game series. Then they had to go to Seattle. This will be their first home game of the postseason. I think that crowd is going to be an 11 out of 10. I think you are going to get a very, very fired up atmosphere. And one of my big criticisms, TB, of the Mariners this year was when they got on the road, specifically on the East Coast in some of these like hotter environments, and they struggled. I'll point to that Phillies series because I think I took 2 losses in that series on the Mariners. To use one of your, what do you say? They puked on the mound or something. Like, that's what happened. Gilbert got rocked in that series. And that was like that, they went to that series in Philly. Of course, every game in Philly, pretty much the playoff atmosphere, they almost always sell out, and they got swept in that series. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't remember what happened in the Red Sox series, but I do remember the Mariners struggling. Typically they struggle at Yankee Stadium, Fenway. It's a tough spot for them. I think this is a tough matchup, tough spot. I don't know if I'll get to the window with the Tigers here necessarily, but it's certainly the way I lean. It'll be a thought for me all day. And I wouldn't be surprised if that plus 120 or plus 115 turns into more like plus 105.
I still have a bad taste in my mouth from Wu. I backed him one day. He went to New York Yankee Stadium and he barfed on the mound one time during the season. But that being said, every pitcher has a bad game. Scoobles had a bad game. They all have a bad game. So, but that still I still have a bad taste in my mouth from that one. That was hard to swallow. I think I had a 5% play on him that day. So anyways.
But yeah, I'm totally with you, TB. The value in this series pretty much is regardless is going to be on the underdog, because you're going to have the Tigers. You're going to have the Tigers home the next 2 days. If they don't take care of the series here, they will be underdogs. Or I'm sorry, the Mariners will then likely be a Game 5 underdog at home against Skubal, which we've already seen that they can beat him. So yeah.
And just some betting advice, but another way to bet an underdog if you're not confident to take them on the side would be a team total as well. So underdogs, usually their team total will be 3.5 or 1.5 in the first 5. Certainly attainable for the Tigers here.
I don't hate the first 5 over angle. I don't think that's a horrible look. What do you, because you said you would
4 when I checked it, but you can get a 3.5 for about minus 130, and you can get a 4 for about plus 100. So
yeah, I was gonna say I see reduced big 4s, which means 3.5 is gonna be juiced. But like, you got to think too, like the way in which the Mariners tend to score their runs is obviously, like we've talked about it all season, via the home run, the long ball. And, Flaherty can be good, but I don't think anyone in this Mariners lineup can't potentially take him deep. So I do think you're potentially looking at like a crooked number there somewhere. And I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Logan Gilbert's going to pitch well here. I could see the Tigers getting on him. And I'll go back
I
see the Tigers
scoring on him. I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, and
That
what's
would
that?
go
I mean, even full game, 7.5 on the total seems a little bit light. I don't think this is
agreed.
going to be a. So, what were the first two games in the series? I know we had a 3-2. Were they both
They were
3-2?
both 3
I
to
think
2.
I like the over. I'll make that statement. I think this is the game in this series. You might see some runs, whether they come early or whether they come late. I think you see some runs here. That is
I
my
would agree
thought
with
in this
that.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go on. We disagreed about this a little bit yesterday. I want to start by saying, like, so this is the other one that could end in a 3-game sweep. I think the Yankees still have a chance to win this series. I really do. And I think right now, so yesterday when we brought it up, they were 5-1 most places. I think that you got to shop around. I saw some plus 425s. I saw some places as high as 525. Plus 450. Obviously, these future series prices are going to be different everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I think the Yankees have such a chance, the reason I think they have more than a 5-1 chance to win this series is they will have the pitching edge in every single game the rest of the way. So you look at this, they're going to have the edge pitching in all 3 games because clearly they have an edge here. They're a -155 favorite at home. So whether you think Bieber's better or not, the books are not going to be wrong at this point, right? So they're telling you that the Yankees have a slight edge here, and I think I'll ask you this when I kick it over to you. I think their bullpen, even with like some of the guys like Weaver who you don't like, and like still has better numbers, and they're probably a better bullpen than the Blue Jays. So you're
How
looking
could you
at
like him?
yeah, I'm just saying, like, how could but the Blue Jays have a team bullpen ERA of like 6 since like July 1st, or at least they did in the regular season. And they haven't, that's the other thing. They haven't had a high leverage inning in the playoffs yet. The Blue Jays have not been in a single high leverage bullpen spot because they blew it open the first 2 games. So, and the leverage spot in the first game, if you remember, was Gossman, who struck out Aaron Judge, I think, with the bases loaded. So it wasn't a bullpen guy.
And no outs.
Yeah, so it wasn't
Choker.
a bullpen guy.
Wussy with a P.
So you got so you potentially have Yankees here, Schlittler tomorrow, and then you're probably looking at Max Fried in Game 5, who would be a favorite against anyone the Blue Jays throw out there. Yes, he had a tough Game 2, but it's very likely. I mean, if the Yankees season is on the line, I'm pretty sure they're coming back with Fried in Game 5. Like I think he'll be on regular rest. But even if he was on 4 days, I think they're going back with him Game 5, season on the line. So that would be like the bet I'm going to give out right now. Like I think Yankees series price right now, 5-1, 4-1, 5-1. Obviously, shop it around is a bet I'm willing to make. But I'm going to give you a chance to tell me if you agree, disagree, and obviously let me know how you're seeing this one tonight.
Don't forget, guys, it's $5 Tuesday. My play is already up. And I have a free play up in EuroLeague basketball as well. My 5% play, my $5 play is baseball, MLB. So first, before I address that, let me ask you a question. Do you think young guys like Yasavage and Schlittler can repeat greatness like they had in their first? Because both of them went like 7 innings. Savage went 5 1/3, and he had a no-hitter going, and Schlittler gave up 1 run in 7 2/3 or something. He was just incredible. Do you think these young guys can repeat, or do you think they get tagged the second time around?
Here's the thing I think with young players like these two. I think when things are, I think there's an element of cockiness to some of these guys that have had, remember, they've had success every step of the way. So Trey Savage started in low A this year. I mean, obviously, a guy like that goes to an A ball and even double A, just mowing guys down, right? Even Schlittler. Yep. Schlittler he started at double A, was great. Got to Scranton for a minute, was awesome. They don't really know failure yet. So I think when like guys are really like, I just think that I mean, look at the confidence that Schlittler had in that Game 3, right? And look at like Savage. What did someone called time? I think it was maybe Caballero or someone called time on him. Oh, Grisham. I'm sorry, Grisham called time, and he just stood there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't get off the mound, because right now they're cocky young kids that have a ton of talent. There will be a point in time, you can count on it, where their confidence gets knocked a little bit, and they go through a stretch,
Adversity.
right? Where it's
adversity, yeah.
Look at Mizorowski. I mean, Mizorowski came up, he mowed dudes down for like 4 starts. He made an all-star team. He kind of had his stretch where he had to go back and question some things, but then you see the talent. Look at him last night. Comes out, he's throwing 102. Like, so to answer your question right now, until something bad happens, I think you can be pretty confident with those two. But when something bad does happen, they might not know how to handle it.
There will be some adversity, and it could be in their next start. Bases loaded with 1 out, jam, and you let a run in. That's adversity, and these guys probably aren't used to that.
Tommy, this is a good point, though. Connolly early was cruising, and by no fault of his own, got in trouble in that inning. And then it was like, all of a sudden it was like, because remember, that inning was pretty much caused by his defense misplaying balls. There was a fly ball that could have been caught. Rafaela was sort of out of position on a play where he could have thrown the ball to third instead of missing the ball completely. And then so he kind of so it goes quick. So to answer your question, I think these younger guys, if Schlittler comes out and he looks like he's cruising, he's probably good till he's not. And then it's going to come down to the manager on how quickly you're willing to like pull the plug on that, I think.
Sounds good. I've been around these guys. I'll tell you, nothing throws them off their mental rhythm more than an error or an out that they should have had. How many times have you been watching baseball where the guy's got 2 outs, nobody on base, an error, the guy gets to second base, boom, he gets knocked in. It's the pitcher's constantly thinking that should have been an out, that should have been an out, even though it's not earned. It pisses them off. Nothing throws them off their game like an error, believe me. And the Yankees are very error prone. So, okay, back to the discussion. I'm kind of changing my tune from yesterday. I said the Yankees are cooked. Actually, looking at the game today, you're right. If they can win this game, they're definitely back in the series. I don't know if they can win it. But look, the Blue Jays don't really have the greatest bullpen in the world. They're decent enough to get them by. Let's face it, that what's got them to where they're at is their offense. And their starting rotation, nothing to write home about. It's serviceable, right? So looking at today's matchup, you say very confidently that Yankees have the pitching advantage. I agree to a certain degree, but if you look at Bieber's numbers against these Yankees in his history, he's mowed them down. I mean, he's mowed them down. Now, I don't have split stats to tell me if that was like years ago or if it's recent, because that kind of does matter. And I don't think Bieber's the best pitcher in the world, but you got to take that into consideration, that he's going to have a little confidence going into this. But Yankees are a great home team. You can't deny a team that's 50-31 at home. Rodon is an excellent home pitcher, and his stats against these guys pretty good. So I think this will be a tight one. I mean, up to now, it's been the Blue Jays scored 23 runs in 2 games, and the Yankees scored 7 the last game and won the first game or whatever. I think the runs are going to come down here. I think when you change venues, it puts a totally different mask on the series. And I think everything's going to calm down, and we're probably looking at unders here. It's going to be a tight game. And obviously the Yankees have the better pitcher, but be careful because Bieber has really good numbers against these batters. So proceed with caution if you're going to take the Yankees here.
Jake says, no twisted teas this morning, Trig. I must have drank something one day that looked like a twisted tea. I do have I am back on my energy drink grind right here. I'm going with a white gummy bear rain this morning, TB. But like, I got to be honest, I think it's been about a decade. I don't think I've had a twisted tea since about 2016. I can remember my last twisted tea because first of all, it's not something I would really ever drink, but I'm fairly certain the last twisted tea I had was at Saratoga Racecourse when I still lived there. So I haven't lived in Saratoga since 2018. So that's how long it's been since I had a twisted tea. So I don't know what I drank that looked like a twisted tea, but no, it is. I'm not on TB's schedule. He can come in and have a cocktail at the end of his night. It is 9 a.m. on the East Coast, so no twisted tea for me. But I do have my my Reign Total Body Fuel going this morning. And you know why I drank? You know why I went with this one, TB? Because I had it yesterday and I went 2-0. So I'm just trying to retrace my steps.
We can talk about superstitions as well for professional cat. I try not to be superstitious, but yeah, you kind of can't help it when you do this for a living, right? You kind of tend to use the same bath towel a couple days in a row when you're on a winning streak or something, just stupid little things like that. Wear the same color socks or something. But regarding alcohol, a lot of you know me as a Fireball guy, but my refrigerator is Japanese plum liquor, which is called umesh in Japanese. I have Kahlua because I love Kahlua and cream, and then I have tons of Fireball. So those are my liquors of choice. Anyways,
the Mallory and I more or less, she's got me on like this health kick now. So if we're gonna have a drink, it's typically like Casamigos. Like that's like I've had to like rid everything else out of my diet, but that's okay. I don't mind. I really rarely drink. So
a lot of people don't know this. I'm a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually married, and my wife drinks zero alcohol. Zero. So yeah, I usually drink alone, like George Thorogood.
Yeah. Well, Mallory's a lawyer, so they all drink. So I have to drink every once in a while. Yeah, every once in a while. But
Steve-O, I don't really like sake actually. It's okay, but not my thing. I like plum liquor much better than sake. So.
At any rate, let me get back to this because I do want to kind of counter your Bieber comments. Listen, here's why I say I feel like the Yankees have a pitching edge. I'm with you. I'm less talking like Rodon versus Bieber and more saying the books are not going to make a mistake at this point in the season, right? Like if the books are going to come out and price this Yankees minus 155, I have to at least think that if the Jays had any sort of real edge from a pitching standpoint here, the line would be different. Okay, like it would be you wouldn't see the Yankees creeping up to the minus 160 range if there was any like real edge from a pitching standpoint for the Blue Jays. I think it is fair to say that these two starting pitchers are somewhat even. I think once you start getting into the splits and the way that they match up with certain teams, like that's a totally different ballgame. But you can't look at these two pitchers, Carlos Rodon, 2025 stats, 3.09 ERA, 1.05 whip, expected batting average is 215. That's top 15% in the league. He's got one of the better whiff rates among starting pitchers in the league. Expected ERA is 3.32. You can't look at that and tell me that Shane Bieber is necessarily better. He might not be like worse.
I never said
certainly is right.
I agree with you that the Yankees have a pitching advantage. I agree with you. I'm not saying he's better.
But it is close because you got now Bieber's smaller sample. Remember, Shane Bieber only registered 40 1/3 innings during the regular season. He was hurt the majority of the year. Yep. So you can look at that a couple different ways. You can look at that one, well, maybe we're getting the vintage Shane Bieber, probably the guy that accumulated a lot of these numbers against the Yankees during his time with Cleveland, or he's like we just don't have a big enough sample size. I'll tell you one thing that's a little concerning during the regular season, less than a strikeout per inning. That's a little bit concerning on the road against the Yankees. Another thing that concerns me a little is that, he sits 92 on his fastball, throws it 40% of the time. I feel like these Yankees are going to take him deep a couple times. I think this lineup, remember, he's a right-handed pitcher, so you're going to have the Ben Reich, Chisholm, like the lineup that they want in there. I feel like you're going to see a Yankees breakout on offense. I like I will probably find a way to play the Yankees. At worst, I'm going to play that series play. I'm going to sprinkle something on that 5-1 for them to win the series.
In Bieber's defense, yeah, his K rate's 8.17, so not terrible, but you're right, it's less than 1 per inning. Yeah, I just like his stats against the Yankees. If anything, I would think of an under. Some people in the chat are saying the wind's blowing out, and the total's only 7.5, which seems low. I can't really argue with that either. If the Yankees put Nuke Weaver in, then you can at least bank on 2 runs for the Blue Jays in that situation. Also, the Yankees need to learn how to catch the ball. That would help. That's part of baseball, is catching the ball. So yeah, those are 2 kind of opportunities to score runs here. But I think the first 5 under would be a good play if it's 4.5.
TS Fox is so right. He's like, dude, stop drinking the energy drinks. The energy drinks are so bad for you. He's not wrong. I've been sticking to the 0 sugar, like Rain, or I've done a little research, and it seems like Rain and Bang are the 2 sort of cleaner options. He's not wrong though. I do want to try Portnoy's new energy drink. It's called Phoenix. It's just not. I got to order some. It's not my area yet, but he's 100% right. I got to get off of this. Problem is, TB, I just can't function without the caffeine at this point. Like, I just people like,
and you don't like coffee?
A long day. It's not. It doesn't hit the same. I've been trying the coffee. Like, I was on a good stretch. Here's the problem. Over the summer when I didn't have as much to do, I was on a good stretch of coffee. Dude, I'm trying. It's a long day. I'm up early. We got Major League Baseball. I got college basketball in less than 3 weeks. You folks are gonna expect me to show up talking about, Bucknell Bison. I gotta be doing the work now. It's a long day. So right now I only do 1 a day though. I know some people that are so into these things, they'll do more than 1. That's crazy to me. 1 of these and I won't go back for more. But TS, you're not wrong. You're not.
I drink Diet Dr. Pepper when I'm in Arizona. I drink Diet Dr. Pepper and I have like 3 of them a day. I know it's unhealthy, but out here I drink Coke Zero, maybe 2 or 3 of them a day.
All right.
I know it's not healthy.
I've been trying to stay away from those types of drinks. So I'm usually like energy drink in the morning. I try to drink water. I will mix in a coffee every once in a while, but
you're young. Anyway. You still have your life ahead of you. I'm 55. I don't give a crap. I'm going to die anyway. I don't care. I'm not that far, but I'll be 40 in July. A lot of people think I'm like much younger. Once you hit 50, you just don't care what anyone thinks, and you don't care if you're dead or alive. So,
Tommy, he says, Cafe Bustelo. Here's my other issue. I don't like hot coffee. The only coffee I've ever been able to drink is iced. So,
iced coffee is from Japan, by the way. America didn't even have iced coffee. Japan kind of invented it, and now it caught on over there. But yeah, cold coffee tastes really good with some milk in it. Really good.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way I can drink it. I literally did not drink coffee until like a year or 2 ago.
Matter of fact, my last trip out there a couple weeks ago, I got at Walmart. I got the Dunkin' Donuts like French vanilla coffee at Walmart, and brought it back here. So she makes that, and I'll pour it in, put some ice, add some milk. Oh, it's so good. Really good stuff. Better than that.
I'm gonna have to. Adam Westbury says you can do Bustelo cold. I'll listen. I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna look into this. I appreciate you guys concerned for my health with these energy drinks, because I'm with you. Mallory gives me a hard time. She gives me a look if she sees me open in one of these in the morning. She's like, "Thought we talked about this. Thought we weren't going to do energy drinks anymore." And I'm just like,
coffee. Okay.
Hold you. Is that like a good? What is this? Is iced coffee? Is that like am I soft for going iced coffee? Can't drink an iced coffee.
Everyone likes.
He said, "I'll hold your purse." Anyway. So
in essence,
so do you want
Adam? In essence, Adam, you like the Yankees in this game?
I do. That's the thing. No, that I really do, and that's I think I'm with you on the thought process of looking at an underdog in the Tigers Mariners series, and yeah, I'm pretty much. I I'm pretty much like Yankees are bust at this point. At least just knowing the way this series is going to pan out, I think it would be hard for me to play against the Yankees until maybe Game 5 when if it gets back to Toronto. I don't know that I'll come out. So to wrap this up, because I know we kind of went off.
I have a question for you about baseball after you wrap this up.
Yeah, I guess to wrap up my handicap of this game, I don't know if I want to lay $1.55. Maybe I'll go the Tokyo Brandon route, look for a -1. I do think the Yankees, if they break out, it could be a crooked number, which makes me think that they could cover the -1. So maybe that's the route I'll go here. But I do, at worst, if I bet nothing else today, I will put a small bet on that 5-1 Yankees to win the series. That I already played at one spot yesterday. I may add a little bit more if I can find another 5-1. Go ahead.
Here's a question for you. I think how much does their backs are against the wall factor into your capping? I personally, I don't really put that in professional sports because these guys are pros and they're going to play hard no matter what. So the backs against the wall kind of thing doesn't really resonate with my capping. In college sports with the young kids, yes, I think it resonates a lot more in that situation. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm not putting as much stock into that. That's not a huge part of my handicap. Now, in the case of like Yankees Jays, like I do think so. I'll tell you this, TB. These 5-game series, I think you get 2-0, and I think it's more bettors and the media and maybe even the odds makers a little bit that sort of start to price it as it's like, oh, like, well, the series is basically over. It's like,
you gotta win one, right?
2-0, one win for the Yankees here, and they're suddenly a home win away from a winner-take-all Game 5. Like 2-0 is far from insurmountable, especially when the 2 losses came on the road. Like, all they have to do is hold serve at home. That's where I think the overreaction is. So it's less of a backs against the wall thing. If I like the way that this game set up for the Blue Jays more, I would have no problem betting the Blue Jays here. I just don't think that they've been tested yet. And I'd be surprised. Like, they're not going to go in my opinion, and blow open a Game 3 on the road. If the Jays win tonight, they're going to have to grind out a win. And we've seen them struggle in leverage relief spots all year. Like I said, go back to July 1st. They're a bottom 10 bullpen in Major League Baseball. They didn't have a leverage spot in the first 2 games with their bullpen. So that's where I'm just like, hey, like, I think we're don't count the Yankees out just yet. Because I'll tell you what, the Bronx is as good of a baseball atmosphere I've ever been to. I've been to many, many times. Tough place to win. So don't count the Yankees out just yet. That's what I'm saying.
Very good home team, that's for sure. And one thing about all those runs in the first 2 games was Toronto. Remember, at the beginning of the season, everyone was talking about how that's like a miniature park where people were just pasting the ball all over the place. So it's really no surprise that the first 2 games went over. I think that starts to calm down a little bit here in Game 3.
Yeah, listen, you got a 7.5. I mean, it's really hard to tell how this game is going to go, in my opinion. From like, I don't think. Here's what I'll say about Yankees Jays. I think if one of these teams blows it open, it's likely the Yankees. If Bieber keeps them in the game, Yanks might have to win a game 2-1, 3-1, 4-2, something like that. So I'm really not trying to talk someone off of an under if that's the way you want to go with it. Me personally, I do think I think the Yankees could put a crooked number up. So I probably want no part of an under at 7.5, which is a tough number to that's, that you're only like an big inning or 2 away from that being over. On the flip side, I think the far better total bet. For me, the better total bet is in that first game. I think you're going to see some runs. I like the over in the first game and the Yankees in the second game. I'll land on that right here. I think I can kind of confidently say that.
Sounds good. Well, we can wrap it up there then. I guess people don't want to hear us talk about.
Do you have something locked in, TB? Do you have something locked in?
I do. I have a MLB play up today for $5. Remember, guys, it's $5 Tuesday. And also, WagerTalk allows us to put all of our MLB bets up for $9 for the rest of the season. Today they're $5. But also Adam and I do Korean baseball and I do Japanese baseball. We're allowed to price those at half price. Even 5% plays, we sell them for what is it, $14.50 instead of $35. So take a look at what we got daily, because KBO playoffs are heating up, and I won Samsung yesterday, which I was pretty happy.
Very nice.
They came back and took the win. Wante In is just a better pitcher than Allen, so I couldn't believe the odds for that. So
I kicking myself for not playing that. Basically, I kind of leaned towards Samsung in the first game, stayed off of it. I'm glad I did, because of course NC won, and I was like, man, do I tempt? I mean, they were so hot going into that game, but I did lean your way. I'm glad you got the win there. I kind of knew they would probably use Gerson Garabito in relief. They did. So
they did.
Great bet. That was a great bet on Samsung, in my opinion. In hindsight, I was kicking myself for not playing that. So
sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The quirky way that the KBO does their playoffs is the team that finished the regular season higher gets an automatic win to start. So all Samsung had to do was win 1 out of 2 to move on. Next they play SSG day after tomorrow. SSG is probably going to start with Anderson, I imagine. That's their best pitcher, right?
We are at the point where that will be a 5-game series. So I was going to say, the discount we have for the Korean baseball plays are discounted as well, and we'll both probably be in action in the KBO playoffs. That starts Thursday.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to I don't know if I'll have a client MLB play today. If I do, it'll be up as part of $5 Tuesday, but I will likely lock in at least one football play. I did win with the Jaguars last night.
Wow.
Crazy game. Yeah. I mean, I felt like +3.5 should have been good regardless, even though it was looking like I was going to get hooked at the end. But Trevor Lawrence was laying on the ground, got up and walked into the end zone. Crazy, one of the crazier plays I've seen. So I will have at least something up. It'll likely be a football play, but who knows? I may find a way to play the Yankees, because that's what I'll be doing the next couple hours, is seeing how I can stomach potentially playing one of these 2 games today. But hey, that's what I was talking. Listen, we're at the point in the year. There's 2 baseball games a day, maybe 3 or 4. Like, it's going to be tough to find really good spots. So you just got to kind of let them come to you. And if it's not there, you move on to the next day. I will say this, though. Someone asked about the show parlay. So we're going to end the show on this. I said on Monday that because we're down to 2 games a day, we're retiring the parlay, plus 5.35 units on the year. It was a great year. The fact that we made it this far and are ahead is huge. We're bringing it back for one day, and that's going to be tomorrow. The reason is we already are guaranteed a minimum of 3 games, no matter what happens in Mariners, Tigers. We'll have them, and if the Yankees win, we'll have 4 games. So we will bring the show parlay back tomorrow, where we have Brian Leonard's going to be back. We've got the full slate, 3 or 4 games. So less filibuster tomorrow, if you will.
If Brian were here, we certainly would not be talking about drinks and stuff, because he won't let us. He likes to get down to business.
we just like to hang with you guys for an hour, talk some baseball. We had 2 games to break down today. We got to enjoy it, because listen, in a couple of weeks we're not going to have any baseball to talk about until March. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Good luck if you decide to get involved today. Remember, $5 Tuesday site wide. I think the shout out to my buddy Andrew McKinnis. He started a show. I think they're going later. I think it's like a late show. It's like a night before type thing if you're into the NHL. Of course, Carm and Prez and the crew, or Carm and whoever does the Puck Time show, is going to be back. I think the NHL starts tonight. Admittedly, just not something I follow, but I'm pretty sure the NHL starts tonight. So if you're looking for hockey plays, everyone has a $5 play up. So there's something out there if it's not one of us. Yeah.
I think it's Carm, Buster, and Andrew. And I think they're going to try something like an in-game live kind of thing. Might be interesting.
Very cool. Yeah. Jacob says, how about them jumbo shrimp? Yeah, Jacksonville jumbo shrimp, the AAA champions this year. And hey, who would have thought that? We only talked about how good the Marlins farm system was on this show for months, and they won the AAA. They won the AAA champs. Colin Gregory says, great show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Colin,
Thank you,
tuning
guys.
in all year. All of you guys in the chat, very much appreciated. Let's enjoy 2 baseball games today, and we'll be back to break down all the games tomorrow. Going over to the replay, like and subscribe. We still do need the numbers. Still trying to show the bosses that this show was a success. So go like and subscribe.
We are the ugly stepchild of WagerTalk.
You're not wrong. Just saying, you're not wrong. All right. We'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks for hanging with us today. Good luck. See you guys tomorrow.
Thursday night football on Prime, and the undefeated record is on the line, to say the least. Now 6-0 this year with your free Thursday night selections. Trying to make it 7-0. Eagles, Giants, Thursday night football, free play with analysis coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And thank you, as always, for watching this video. If you're liking it, thumbs up, like is all I ask. Takes 2 seconds, and I will keep these free Thursday night videos coming each and every week. And we had the 49ers outright underdog win last night. I did that video early in the week, right after the line had gone from 3.5 up to 5.5 with Purdy questionable. And then it closed over a touchdown. The Niners still won the game outright. So we're now 6-0 on your free sides and totals that I've given you in this video for Thursday night football. And this one is tricky. Eagles, Giants, because it's sitting right at 7.5, but there are some -7s out there, and it does look like this line is starting to drop. I'm doing this on Monday afternoon. I always get these videos up nice and early for you during the week for these Thursday night prime games, and I'm going to lean towards the Eagles here as your free play for this video, but I like them at -7 or less only. Currently, DraftKings on Monday afternoon already has -7, -120. BetMGM has -7, -1.18. And then some of the sharper offshore books are 7.5 even money, and I do think this line could drop. Sharp action looks like it might be on the Giants in this one, and the Eagles are not looking too public. My early public indicators are pretty neutral in this game, which makes me like Philly a little bit more because the Giants are still a really bad football team. Now, I do think it's an upgrade with rookie Jackson Dart at quarterback. He looked really good in the preseason for the most part, and he's been fairly serviceable so far here in the regular season, starting the last 2 games for the G-Men. Of course, he came in against the Chargers a week ago, had a 96 QB rating, 1 touchdown, no picks. Last week against the Saints, only a 73 rating, though, on the road. 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And, of course, the Saints are one of the weakest teams. But that was his first road start of the season. And we actually faded the Giants. Your free play of the week was the New Orleans Saints on my page. And don't forget, by the way, I do post free plays each and every day on my page. Last week, I got that advanced NFL play up early for you on the Saints. And I've got another advanced NFL play up for this coming Sunday right now on my page. So check it out after this video, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And, of course, you can get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. Look for Dart, though, to maybe regress a little bit here for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a quick turnaround. Just 3 days of rest and preparation, something he has never done before. Yes, it's a home game, but it's a short road trip for the Philadelphia Eagles, just a couple hours, not much of a travel factor. And while I do normally say the home teams have an edge on Thursday night with a short rest week, I think the better long-term advantage is the better team has an edge with just 3 days of preparation, especially when you're talking about a true rookie quarterback. And also the Eagles will be in a foul mood. These birds will be foul, and that's no pun intended, because they're coming off a loss as a home favorite to the Denver Broncos this past Sunday. And lifetime Eagle fan, he might have moved to L.A., but you can't take the Eagle out of him. Our producer, Dan Alexander, pointed out that Mark Lawrence pointed out that this is the first time ever, I believe, that a defending Super Bowl champ has been outgained in yardage in each of the first 4 games, or first 5 games, I guess now. Yet the Eagles are still 4-1 straight up. They found a way to win despite not playing good football. I think they play a better game this week against maybe the weakest team they've played this season. Let's look at the schedule so far. Dallas Cowboys Thursday night, and the Cowboys have shown they've been very capable offensively, so we'll give them a little bit of a pass for not being able to slow down Dallas until the lightning delay. Kansas City Chiefs on the road, tough game to say the least. Rams, tough game. Buccaneers on the road last week, a week and a half ago. We had a best bet on the Eagles there. Eagles were up big in that game. Final score a little misleading. A lot of that was garbage time yardage. And then, of course, last week they did lose the game at home to the Broncos as a 4-point favorite, but I think that sets them up in a good bounce back here. And for the most part, they've handled the Giants in recent years. In fact, the road game last year, midseason around this same time, they went into New York, I believe it was week 7, and smoked the Giants 28-3 as just a 3-point road favorite. The look-ahead line this early summer, like really back in May, was about 10, 10.5. Summer line was 7, 7.5. So the number's pretty much where it should be. But 7 is such a critical number. We really want to try to get -7 or less, even with a little extra juice. About a 4 to 5% chance the Eagles win this game by exactly 7 points on Thursday night. Doing this video early, there are some 7s starting to show. 7.5, you wait until near kickoff. You should have multiple outs. Hopefully you find a -7. If you do like the Giants, by the way, and I don't, but if you do like the Giants, grab the 7.5 now before they disappear. It's a very key number. I don't think you're going to find a +8 at any time this week. Eagles, Super Bowl champs, bounce back situation. I like them here on Thursday night. And let's not forget, they were the best team in the NFL last year, and they still started slow. In fact, the first 5 weeks of the season last year, they only outgained one opponent. Now, granted, they had a bye in week 5. I get that. But still, their first 4 games last year, they went just 2-2, only outgained one of those 4 teams, and then they went on a monster run in which they only lost once the rest of the regular season. Actually, once the rest of the season, including the postseason, because they won the whole thing. Slow starters last year in September. Maybe the same thing here. I don't think this Eagle edition is quite as good this year, but they're still a lot better than the Giants, who look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Tough spot for young quarterback on the short turnaround. Veteran Eagles team, short travel, better team, off a loss. We'll lay it, if you're going to play it, with the Philadelphia Eagles at -7 or less. Thursday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern on Prime. Let me know your thoughts. I read the comments. I reply back. Comment below. Side, total, player props. How are you attacking this game on Thursday night? What other NFL plays do you like this week? Hey, a little foreshadowing, advanced plays as well. Of course, I've got an advanced NFL free play for Sunday, this coming Sunday, October the 12th, on my page right now, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And while you're there, check out the special offers, my daily best bets. Check those out on over a 75% run the past week on baseball and football best bets. We are heating up in the month of October. But also check out a very special promo code, which I'm going to give you right here on this video for the first time this week. And that is FB30. Stands for football 30, FB30. You see it on your screen, and here are the details. You get a full 30-day combo, college and pro football 30-day package for $179. Now, the reason that's a special price is because 1 month of NFL is $179. 1 month of college football is $179. If you go to my page right now, SteveMerrillWagerTalk.com, you go to the football drop-down menu on the right-hand side, you will see those prices. 30-day football NFL, $179. 30-day college, $179. But with promo code FB30, choose the all access, or the combo, I'm sorry, the college and pro football 30-day, and use FB30. That gets that price down from $249 to $179. Instant $70 discount. And the beauty there is you're basically buying one, getting one free. So if you had trouble deciding if you want a 30-day college football or pro football, now you don't have to decide. Do the 30-day combo and be sure to use promo code FB30 at checkout to get that special $179 price for the next 30 days and nights of my red-hot college and pro football best bets. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Hey, get there quicker and use that promo code by using shortcut WT.buzz/SM. If you're liking Wager Talk TV, make sure you subscribe to over 222,000 subscribers when I check this week. And who knows, it might be 223,000 by the time you do it. If you haven't already subscribed, click subscribe. It's free. Don't cost nothing. And also click the bell as well for an instant alert so you never miss out when these free play videos are posted each day throughout the week. Also did both Wednesday night college football games. I have your Sunday London game. London call-in, once again, an early Sunday game for London. I do the Sunday nights and Monday night football games each week along with this Thursday night prime game. I know you're liking them. All I ask is a thumbs up like, and I will keep them coming here on Wager Talk TV. And hey, if you have a little extra time, comment below. Positive comments are always welcome, and also include some analysis if you have a little extra time, as we love to learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. Finally, on the way out, you can follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, MERRIL. See it in the corner of your screen there, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV, because you know there's more free play videos coming up next.
Crack.
I don't know if we were live or not.
We are live. Listen, I don't even know how to start this off. So I'm at a wedding rehearsal dinner, and all the groomsmen have their phones, and I'm trying to be the good one. Like, I'm just kind of score watching, not being on my phone. And it's 14-0 Niners. And I'm like, I'm not worried yet. Not worried yet. And then I started to get worried later on. And then I went back to the room while everybody else went out, and I watched that fourth quarter. And I thought, you know, I picked the Rams because I wanted to cheer for chaos this weekend. And I was really kicking myself. I said, you know, I went 1 Rams, 1 Colts, 1 Cardinals.
Oh,
And
I didn't
I
even
thought,
know that.
all right, this is the way to do mix it up. And then I hadn't submitted because it was Thursday night, and my partner said, "Hey, I think we got to go Cardinals. We got to go Cardinals." Panic, 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 panic. I was like, "All right, fine." So went double Cardinals.
Oh,
I had the Colts
wow.
and a couple of my other Splash Survivor pools and a couple of my buddies Survivor pools. So it's not all is lost, but I am out in all the big money pools.
Yeah.
And Brett texted me yesterday after the Cardinals loss, and he goes, "Are you good?" And I was like, "What? I can't do anything but laugh." Right? The Rams, I would play that spot again with all the injuries and all the issues. Yes, it was a divisional primetime game. But would you not play the Cardinals again? I know you had the Cardinals in Grandissimo. Like,
Yeah.
there was a 97.5% chance on the ESPN app that they were going to win that football game.
Yeah, they were getting ready to go up 28-6 when this moron just decides to just nonchalant himself. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen this happen. Both times against me, by the way. This one's
Yeah,
more
me
expensive,
too.
though. Just nonchalant, just drop the ball and going into the end zone. Normally, I don't get too upset at things. That upset me because it's not only I have a team here that depends on me. So there's 3 of us. I hate. I put up my own a lot of. Well, you guys know what it is. It's $33,000, and now I farmed a little piece. Some guy. I don't imagine this guy comes up to the studio. I'm doing a show on Visa, my normal Thursday show. A fan comes up to me and begs me, "Crack, you're in Grandissimo. Can I please take a little piece of yours? Can I just take it?" I said, "Well, listen, I don't even know you. I don't know it. I have no idea who you are." He said, "Oh, I'm on Twitter with you." And I'm a little soft with the fans and people. I like to always try to help everybody. And I was like, "Listen, I got $33,300 on this contest. I don't even know you, but if you want to give me a piece, how much you want to take of mine? I'll let you take a piece of mine."
No,
He
wait,
said,
what
"Can
day
I?"
of the week was this? Was this after the Rams lost or before?
No, this was before the contest started. Like,
Oh, okay,
he's
okay,
like,
okay.
"Can I give you $333?" I said, "Sure." So I took $333 off him, and I feel more bad for him than I do even me. Like I just was trying to be nice to them. But even my 2 partners, I was feeling bad for them, but then I thought about it. My one partner's got a private jet. He's got strip clubs up and down the East Coast, and you know what I mean. I'm not feeling too bad for him. He flies into town on his own plane, like I said. But I felt pretty bad though, for myself even. Because the Rams went out and we avoided the Rams. Now we went with Arizona. I said, "Wow, this is going to be good." A lot of people, and sure enough, I think 15 people had in the Grandissimo had the Rams, so it was a nice little edge there. But the way we lost, listen, if this was a clear loss, so many things had to go right for Tennessee to win. It was the perfect storm. And just even though we're in the moment here, it's probably one of the worst money line losses
Oh, I'm
in the
sure.
last 10 years that I could think of. And if you have money line Arizona, I mean,
Teasers? I had Arizona in a ton of teasers.
oh, wow. There you go. So if you have them in teasers, but some people had them with Buffalo, I'm sure, too, in teasers. So you got double knocked out there, and that's another reason. There was another few entries on Buffalo in these big contests. I
And a
also
bunch
got
of
knocked out of.
Chargers. I mean, yesterday was a literal
Carnage.
bloodbath in terms of Survivor. So
Sunday,
that's why
Bloody
I kind of
Sunday.
just took
Sunday, Bloody
solace in
Sunday.
it. Outside of had we just went triple Colts, which I would have never done. I would have never went shoved in all in on the Colts.
Yeah.
Now where do we go from here?
Now I lost 12 Survivor entries too. That's $12,000 on Survivor entries. I lost. I'm in this pool that this pool genius put up, and they said, "Oh, you're welcome. You're invited, and it's $10,000 free roll." I forgot to put my picks in. I was so mad. All 3 of my picks out. But let me just tell you something. When the Rams lost, I said, "Look at that. That was like an implied value of like $1,200, $1,500."
I use one Rams in my pool genius as well.
I would have had all 3. I would have had all 3 in Arizona. So I that's the only thing.
Okay.
I would have had all 3 Arizona. But I did have the Colts on. I have 1 pick left in my survivors. So I have literally one pick left in my that I'm partners with, and it was really upsetting. And like I said, Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and Thursday too. Also using Thursday, but we go on. You commented on a photo I put up last night. I still went out to dinner. I still want the carbone for dinner. I mean, just
Life is good. Carbone can't afford to buy new plates though, but they can charge,
Oh, I was surprised. So what Kelly's saying is there was a chip plate in there. I didn't mention it. Someone else mentioned it in the comments, and he's right. So there was a cup. So now the waiter comes over, and there's a captain too. So was that the waiter or the captain? Oh, the captain. The captain comes over and says, "Yeah, we have a lot of chip plates. We leave it there." I'm just thinking to myself, how about I just had like mozzarella and tomatoes and burrata, and how about if a little chip goes in there like that? I don't get it. No, we leave it there.
I didn't even think about that. I think like New York City, like East Village, Little Italy, somewhere like hole in the wall mom and pop place that it gives the plates character. Right. Not at Carbone. Unacceptable at Carbone. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say, as somebody who worked and lived in Las Vegas, who was sent through absolute hell with the health department, there may be something with those chip plates that is not allowed. Because you're right.
I don't want to get him in trouble. I like it over there.
I like it too, but if a piece of terracotta goes in my burrata, I'm not going to be very happy camper crunching on that thing.
Yeah. No, that place is great. And that's another thing last night. So there was a scene from Larry David's show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, that a captain comes over and says, "I'm the captain for the table." And there's this line on the tip thing. It says, "Tip for the waiter, tip for the captain." And Larry David doesn't know what to do. Tip a captain. The waiter will take care of the captain. Don't worry. Sure enough, he just tips the waiter. Waiter doesn't take care of the captain. They get mad at him. They block his car, and he can't get out of the restaurant. So, so you have to tip a captain. I was trying. What do you tip a captain? And they're very proper over there. But anyway, I don't mean to go off on food things. And I'm luckily enough that I play on the BetMGM app, and I have tons of comps there. So I have to use them soon by the end of the year. So I used a little bit last night. But going back to football. I'm having a great season though. College football has been great. I had a good Sunday yesterday in the NFL. I'm having a good season, making money for customers and making money for myself. And I woke up. I never do that. I'm a real professional when it comes to you just get up and go and just. I woke up thinking about what happened in that Arizona game, 28-6. This whole turnaround, the perfect storm. But it is what it is. Like Tony Soprano says, it is what it is when something bad happens and. What are you going to do? That's what he says. What are you going to do?
Listen, you're absolutely right, Crack. I couldn't even be mad at Arizona. That was just such a facepalm. And even when they were up 2, I text John Murray and I said, that the Titans are going to win this game. He goes, game-winning field goal. We knew that with less than 3-4 minutes left. You saw the inevitable happen. We watched these games enough that how the end result is going to be. And it was unfortunate, but we move on. You mentioned the Pool Genius Pool. We started off with 345 entries. There's only 82 of us left alive. I have 1 left that I used the code on. So I will take, as I said, I split across the board. I didn't want to shove all in on one team this week because I did think that there was going to be some chaos. Now, there was a lot more than I thought there would be, but I'll take being 1 of 85 left there. As you mentioned, a free roll. I think you get to split the prize pool between yourself and charity.
Nice. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I would give it to an animal charity too. That's me.
Yep. I already got the dog rescue in mind. Don't you worry. Let's get into Monday Night Football. You mentioned your football season's been going very well. So let everybody know what you've got up over at WagerTalk.com and what you're thinking about for Chiefs Jags.
Well, if we go on air before the game, but if not, it's going to be on WagerTalk. I bet a prop live earlier on one of the shows. And I gave it out on the show also, like I said. So we actually bet Worthy over. Last week I bet him over too, Worthy over yards. You get it at a big discount this week because there was a question of an injury, but it's not a serious injury. So I think you get a discount on that over. So Worthy over is what I put up over there. And what'd you ask me about? WagerTalk? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, what do you got? So you've got it up over there for sale for your clients tonight? Okay.
Yeah. And Kel, I said it earlier with Andy. I've sold picks for about 6-7 years, and the WagerTalk is what a deal for people. Honestly, they should get in for the season. And I even told them to maybe email the girls or see if they can. You can literally get the 1-year pass, or I say maybe you can get a pass till the end of the Super Bowl would be great because you get the Super Bowl props in there, which I really never lost.
Real quick, Crack. I'm on the site right now, and I know you're doing well in football. But right now, you're almost hitting 63% in the MLB playoffs.
Well, yeah, I just started though. You know me, okay. I don't brag about the short term, but yesterday I was on the Fox show, and my co-host, I hate to throw him under the bus. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I heard him talk about everyone's talking about Detroit, our producer, big Detroit guy. Everyone's talking about, Scooble's pitching today. And I'm just looking at the line. And this really wasn't analytics. It was like, how can he be plus 138? How could Seattle be plus 138? Everyone talking about Detroit, everyone betting Detroit. Then the line maker that runs the lines comes on and says, everyone is betting Detroit today. Even though it's a football show, everyone's betting Detroit. That's one of their big risks in Michigan. I said, you know what? This is a good spot for Seattle because, as we all know, I put a tweet up yesterday. God protects the bookmakers. Bookmakers made a lot of money yesterday, by the way. I don't want to hear any of them crying the whole season. A few of my friends, too. I don't want to hear anything. That bucket, where's the bucket? I don't know. Oh, okay. The bucket will not be coming out. This bucket, this bookmaker pension fund bucket will not be coming out this season at all. I don't want to hear anything. You guys make a fortune. You made a fortune yesterday. You made your whole season yesterday. You know how many people bet teasers?
I know. Lines, the teasers have been doing so good that I just can't help myself.
So they just throw it in there as an accumulator. Oh, I'll just throw. Oh, it's the Sunday night game, Buffalo. Yeah, just throw it in there to enhance my parlay payout. Yeah, okay. And these people love betting parlays. I know it. They love betting parlays. That's the number one thing. I can't talk them off of it. Even my friends who know me, even they know me for years, they say, yeah, but Bill, the guy hit $5. He won $32,000. You didn't see that on the TikTok I sent you? And I said, listen, if you want to bet $5, if you're betting $100 a game, I have no problem with you betting a $5 parlay to have fun, yourself. But I know what happens, though. They bet the parlays to get out. Now, the old New York, Philly bookmakers on Monday ended the week. The week went from Tuesday to Monday. They knew that Monday night was get out day. They let you bet Monday and let you settle that weekend's games because they know you'll be firing on Monday night. So
especially when you're down, they want you to fire. They want you to fire on Monday to try to chase. It's no different than when we had Pac-12 After Dark or those Mountain West Hawaii games. It's that get right after dark kind of game to try to get underneath your settle figure. I highly recommend people not doing that. Crack and I spend a lot of time trying to practice what we preach, showing discipline. Just because there is a football game on does not mean you need to bet it. Crack.
I bet a lot of baseball. I'm telling you now. But during the playoffs, I'll bet. So I like some of these live dogs. But yet I won't send them out if I really don't like them. Like I bet the Reds the first game because I found in town here plus 185. I lost. But it was plus 172 everywhere at the sharp books. I just took because of the value. Yesterday, I thought that was good to put that out there. I put it out for the WagerTalk people. I put out, I don't want to jinx myself, but I put out Toronto for the series as a plus. I mean, they were plus like 130, 140. I know the Yankees are the Yankees, and I know they could still come back.
You're paying a premium because their name on their jersey says the Yankees.
You're paying a premium with sports books for sure. People aren't betting Toronto. They can't even name 5 guys on the field, but they know everyone in the Yankees, in the dugout, in the bullpen. They know the guys that aren't even starting. Everyone knows the Yankees. There's always value going against the Yankees. And believe it or not, the Dodgers. I haven't done it yet, but I will be putting something out there, I'm sure, sooner or later against these Dodgers, too.
Well, it makes sense. Listen, the Dodgers are $2 favorites almost every single game. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. This wasn't something I asked you.
Yeah.
But now, since we're talking about playoff baseball, who do you think is going to win the World Series? Do you think there's any value at this point in time on putting a little bit of money on a team?
I don't know that there's really no value of putting on one of the favorites. I can tell you that. So let me see what Toronto is. I'll just look real quick. Let me see what Toronto still is now. But they're up. They're up 2-0. So you're not gonna get the value you could have got before. But I didn't bet any. You know why I don't bet into this marketplace a lot, Kel? Because listen, I'm friends with some of these guys, but the books. It's too juice heavy. You bet something plus 4-1, plus 5-1, plus 7-1.
Yeah.
If you're betting yes, no, that's different. If you're betting yes, no, it's different. But they're so juice heavy on a lot of these things. You're betting into 20, 25% markets. And yeah, they don't have anything up on Toronto. I just wonder what Toronto was, what they would be now. But so I really don't. Maybe Toronto gets through. Check out them again. There are books right here in this town that have yes, nos. Bet into a yes, no market. Don't bet into a market where you're picking 5, 6, 7 into 5, 6, 7 teams. Bet yes, no, much less hold.
All right. Can you kind of break that down one step further for anybody that doesn't know? So, for example, our friends at Circa do a yes, no market.
Correct.
NFL, they'll do a yes, no playoff market. They'll do yes, no national championships, yes, no playoffs for college football as well. So explain why that's a better value than taking a certain team at 5-1 and another team at 8-1 and so forth.
Yeah, so in a regular market, you may see with your bookmaker. Matter of fact, if you're playing with a local guy, you're definitely going to just see that. Usually, they don't do yes nos. So they'll have each team plus 6-1, plus 7-1, plus 8-1, plus 9-1. Well, here's what's supposed to happen. Ideally, you're supposed to bet the plus 4-1. Now the other ones are supposed to go up from 900 to 920 or 925 plus 925. Most of the books don't do that. A good book will do that, but no, most of the books will not do that. They're just going to take the 4-1 and move the 4-1 to plus 375. Take the bet. That's the reason why the implied value is awful compared to betting something yes, no, where they will move either side of the bet. And therefore, you can get into markets here. There's some of these markets that have 30, 40, 50% hold rather than having a 5, 6, 8% hold on a yes, no. And by the way, there's not only Circa, our friends over at Westgate, which is the book I promote. I'll be blunt. I promote Westgate because I think Westgate has most unbelievable deals. 105 juice. They have 105 juice on the primetime games. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but long term.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's 5 cents on
$100.
every single dollar you bet. It's a lot. And for people that don't realize that, you are absolutely losing way more money than you need to when minus 105 is available.
Drink tickets. They have drink tickets. Go to the county and get drink tickets. I brought John Hoagland, our producer here, over to Circa a couple weeks ago and had him film when I had the big entry in the Grandissimo. They wouldn't even pay for his parking. Here's press that's going to be on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere in the world. Now, listen, I'm friends with Derek. You think I'm going to go up to Derek and say, Derek, can you pay for his $15? No.
You're just going to pay for it. I get it. I just
want someone to have common sense and decision-making skills. We're just giving you press. We're giving you nothing but press. It's to do it. There's no real reason to do it. We're doing it for you guys. And I was mad at Circa that day. I get mad at certain things. I get mad at Mike Palm, the GM, going after one of the influencers and saying how he always thinks he's always right about everything. I get mad at these things. And let me be blunt, Kel. I talk about it. If trust me, if John Murray pisses me off, I'm saying something about him. Yeah, but he doesn't piss me off. He's so good.
No, we're better at pissing him off than he is at pissing us off.
You're right. No, but I mean, listen, I'm not trying to. I try to tell it like it is. In life, and listen, do I love Circa? Absolutely. Walk at the Circa. It's beautiful. Look at this book. You're in like heaven there. It is. But you know, certain things like that, I was mad.
Well, Craig, I think especially too in regards to local books, right? Yeah. Off strip casinos. Right now, everybody's talking about how bad it is on the strip. Well, that's because you got resort fees. That's because you got high parking fees, valet fees, all of these things. There was a shift there during COVID before I left where they were begging everybody to come, right? The government was giving out stimulus checks. They're begging everybody to come. And I understand that Vegas hit the opposite shift of what they wanted. So in order to kind of get things back in order, they had to start charging. But I think they've now priced out the common man. Yes. And when you do that, then those people are going to flock to off-strip casinos, which is great for our friends of those off-strip casinos. And that's fine if you want to charge the parking fees for Joe Schmo who rents a car that probably doesn't need to, $15 a day. But from a local's perspective, I feel like it should be like the golf courses. When you have a local Nevada ID, your parking should be validated. You just put in that Nevada ID, or you take your player's card. They know you're a local, and boom, the little handle goes up. You shouldn't need a manager. You shouldn't need John Murray to come out from behind the counter and stamp your ticket. It should just be done.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And you should tell people, hey, we want you guys to drive to our casino. We want you guys to come hang out, and we're going to take care of your parking. And maybe it means if you get it validated by the pit boss because you're playing $50 a hand at the blackjack table, or you walk in to the Superbook and you make $2,000 in wagers or $200 in wagers, that they then have to stamp it. But you're right. There's a lot of red tape that's going through Vegas right now that I think is completely unnecessary. And I think it's driving away consumers.
Yeah. You know, my father, God bless him, he wouldn't have went to a casino in Atlantic City if they charged for parking. It was $2 grocery dollars, $2 little dollars. It went to a CRDA fund, which did the city over. The money went into the city to revitalize it. You see how good that went. Yeah, the sewer, absolute sewer, Atlantic City. Should be embarrassed, the people in charge there. But so my father would not go, though, to a casino if he had to pay. Now, this is a man who would go there like everyone else, lose his whole paycheck. He had fun, my father went for it. So he'd go in there, lose $500,000. You're risking that over $2 little grocery dollars. My father wouldn't go. He would go to a free parking only. And so people get mad at little things. It's like, little things. If they turn you down for a comp, you're a regular player. You go in, maybe they turn you down for a comp or something. And I always try to tell these people that are in charge, they don't realize sometimes that a comp only costs them about 25% of the face value. If you're giving a $100 comp to a restaurant, it costs you $25. You're going to get people pissed off for $25. They're going to go back to their clubhouse, their locals up in Anthem, and they talk about all the seniors and everyone about local casino didn't do this for me. And well, I'm not going there either. Meritage, whatever. Like they really get really, really mad. And sometimes it's the common sense. There's no common sense, and there's nothing common in common sense anymore. It's unbelievable sometimes. And you know what it is too? A lot of times these people that are in charge in the casino, they go home to their wife, and the wife bosses them around. So they got no choice. They got to be a boss somewhere.
That's a very good point. You're right, though. I've seen a lot of the station casinos, most notably the new Durango casino. I've seen some of their stuff on Saturday and Sunday, and they're just jam-packed. So again, those places don't charge certain things. It's not hard. You walk right up to the machine, you get your player's card. I mean, I remember before we left, Brett and I were the highest level at stations between the two of us. I never used my own player's card. I just always used his. Yep. We got tons of comps, anything we ever needed. I don't think we paid for a dinner there for 2 years. And guess what that turns into? Tipping the service staff more, coming back, choosing that casino over others, right? I mean, I made a big joke about being at this wedding all weekend. And John Murray said something about, if I ever got married, I go, I'm getting married at the Westgate. Because I want everything comped. I want to pay $0 for a wedding. We'll just belly up to the center bar there. I'll have to walk over to Velvet and get my $14 margaritas. But everybody else, we'll just get drink tickets from John and just hang out there, watch the games, go to dinner at Edge Steakhouse. Except he said he would only comp me Benihana. Can you believe that?
Wow. I went there the other night. It was really good.
Benihana's great. Don't want to discredit that.
Great.
It's
great.
I
watched the games. I had some friends in town. I watched the games over at Thursday night. I watched the Rams game there and the Yankee game there. And what a great atmosphere the Westgate is. I like it.
It really is.
No smoking means
that's my favorite part.
That is
my absolute favorite part.
It's a great sports book. And I couldn't believe it. I told my buddy, "Do you believe there's like nobody here? This is free seats and all the seats are free there. I can't believe that people weren't there watching. What a great atmosphere to watch the games."
I will say that's kind of the other thing is that bottle service and that whole European style started to really get pushed hard when I first moved to Las Vegas. And I remember working at Caesars when I was at Bleacher Report, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to charge $150 for these seats." I'm like, no one's going to sit here. Now, I understand a booth. I understand the clubhouse. I understand, getting a premium seat you can charge for, or you charge a table minimum, food, drinks, whatever, which is very easy to hit anywhere in Vegas because you're paying $8 for a beer. But I do like that the Westgate still has that front row seating, those first, I think they're 4 rows, and it's completely general admission. First come, first serve. You can sit there and you can enjoy yourself. You still get a cocktail waitress that comes by. You still get plenty of attention, but they know you're going to go in there and you're going to make a bet. You're going to bet over the counter or on the app. And they say, "Oh, that's fine. Whoever gets here first, you get here at 6:00 in the morning, you can have a free seat. If you want a premium seat, that's also available." And I think that's where a lot of books have kind of gone awry, is that charging, $125 for one seat. I mean, I can drink, but I can't drink that much crack.
Yeah, no, you can go to Caesars and they still charge for the seats. They charge just for a regular seat there. I mean, it really is. It's just a shakedown over there. And I say about these other places, like, even though I'm thrown off the Stations app for winning, it doesn't matter. I promote Stations because I love the atmospheres for the games there. I love the Durango's you could sit at a restaurant overlooking the sports book, and the sports book's great over there. The guy that runs the sports book at Durango is such a nice guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but I met him a couple times. He was very nice. I went over there with some friends, And just the local deals. I look, there's a $1.99 frozen margarita now at the station's properties, a $5 burger now at the station. They're bringing back those kind of prices. Now, granted, South Point has that, and so do stations. They have like the midnight to 6, which is like a deal for like steak and eggs for like $7. I mean, there's some great deals in Vegas on some off times, or there's these deals that you just look. Listen, I'm a big YouTube guy. I watch a lot of the deals. Just put searchers in. You could search for a lot of the deals, you know, at the local casinos. I'm all about that. So yeah, good stuff. No, you know, it's amazing. I'm zero prepared for this show we're doing. I have no idea.
I never send you an outline or anything.
Nothing,
we just turn
zero.
it on and hit record and
just talk about what happened and what's going on. Yeah, no,
absolutely.
It's great. And
All
we
right,
appreciate the people liking, subscribing, and your comments are welcomed if they're nice. And that's it.
Absolutely. Crack has a play up $9 for the MLB playoffs right now over at WagerTalk.com. So head over there and get that. Crack, Xavier Worthy over passing yards for tonight.
Yeah.
Any opinion, side or total?
Well, I did give out, but it's not fair to give it out now. That's why I didn't give it out on the show. I gave out -3, -20 when it was available a couple days ago, about 5 days ago.
The reason why I ask is I'm very live right now. I am tied for first place.
Right.
In a splash contest. Actually, I lied. I'm tied for second place. Last night was first. I laid it with the Bills, and once those selections lock, you can't change it. I wish, you know, it gets locked on Thursday after you play the Thursday night game or before you play the Thursday night game, but I didn't get to change it. I do have the Jags plus 3.5 and kind of wondering if I should hedge. Unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to do.
Yeah, go with your pick.
Okay.
Go with your pick. Yeah, go with your pick. Absolutely. Don't ever change nothing because it's an NFL side. You know, it's literally if someone hits 55% for the season, they're a genius handicapper. I know it sounds hard to do. I'm sorry, it sounds easy to do, but trust me, it's hard to do.
It's not easy to do, and it's actually funny. I'm in another contest where my partner and I got to double check, but I think it's like 43-19. I'm not even joking. He has me pick all the plays, and I'm thinking, wow, if I just played this every single week. Let's look and see the standings really quickly. I am 46 and 31. Where was I getting that other number? 46 and 31 in the NFL through week 5.
That number won me a contest. I was 46. It's funny you say that number. Over at the end when they first opened, when they had the Cantor contest, that's what I did to win that contest over there. So there was only 10 of us in the contest, but it was a very big contest. So yeah, so good. You're having a good season there. Good deal. So am I. Like I said, we're having good seasons. I didn't mean to come in salty because it's because of Survivor, which doesn't involve WagerTalk. And WagerTalk, we're at, like I said, we're going to have a good season, and that's going to continue.
Okay, sounds great. Crack,
right.
I hope you have a profitable NFL Week 6. I need college football to go my way this weekend. Couple of double-digit outright losers after they were up 2 or 3 scores was kind of a dagger for me, but we're going to turn it around. Appreciate you. I'll send you a text, see what you like by Wednesday or Thursday. WT.buzz/Crackman. You guys can get all of Crack's plays over at WagerTalk.com.
Wednesday night college football. What? October must be here because we have 2 Wednesday night national TV games. Hey, it's great betting opportunities. I'm going to give them both to you free in this video. Free plays in both of your Wednesday night national TV games with analysis coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And Conference USA doesn't mess around. They don't wait till Saturday. They start playing games on Wednesdays, and we got some Tuesday games, I believe, starting next week as well. So, hey, make sure when you subscribe here to WagerTalk TV, you click that bell as well so you never miss out when one of these weeknight free play videos is posted this football season. Conference USA action. And by the way, I think it's a great idea to do these midweek games if you're a smaller conference. Why compete with the big boys on Saturday? Standalone national TV audience, and you stagger the schedule so it kind of works all season long. What are your thoughts on that? Drop it in the comments below. I do truly read the comments and I reply back. Do you like these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night college football games from these mid-major conferences? I do. And I do think there's a couple betting opportunities in these 2 games this Wednesday night. Let's start with the first one at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. The Deuce, Missouri State and Middle Tennessee State. Yes, Missouri State is an FBS team. They're not even showing in some of the preseason annuals this year, but this is their first season in Conference USA, and they are playing a full FBS schedule, and they're off to a decent 2-3 straight up, 3-2 against the spread start. Meanwhile, Middle Tennessee has been a power over the years in this conference, is not off to a good start. 1-4 straight up and against the spread. So not a surprise that we see Missouri State as a road favorite in this game, currently -2.5, below that key number of 3. And as long as it stays at 3 or less, I do like Missouri State, not Middle Tennessee, Missouri State, the road favorite in this game on Wednesday night for a few reasons. First of all, line value. About an 8 to 9% chance Missouri State wins this game by exactly 3 points. At -2.5 or less, we are getting some line value still. By the way, play this sooner than later. We're seeing 2.5s -15 out there. Maybe it hits that key number of 3 by kickoff. So if you like Missouri State, the favorite, you lay the 2.5 sooner than later. If you like Middle Tennessee, MTSU, then you hold off until near kickoff. Maybe you get that key number of +3. But I'd rather have the road team in this one. And I like the matchup here. You always have to be careful overreacting to the September schedule for these small conference teams because they get blown out quite often. And that was the case with Missouri State. They went into USC. First year as an FBS program, they don't mess around. They start August 30th at USC as a 5-touchdown dog. They lose by 60, 73-13. So that's really kind of skewed the stats overall. But they've played pretty good football since. 2-2 straight up, 3-1 against the spread their last 4. The only loss straight up in ATS during that span was against Western Kentucky a week ago as a 4-point home dog. They lost by 5. Pretty solid game, though. They had over 200 yards passing and rushing in that game against WKU, who's one of the better teams in the conference. I like that balanced attack, and it's really the first time they got the running game going this year. First 3 weeks of the season, they were averaging only about 60, 70 yards a game on the ground. They've had over 340 rushing yards the last 2 games combined against Tennessee Martin and Western Kentucky. And that running game is going to be an added benefit in this because on the season, their rushing stats are nothing special. Middle Tennessee, by the way, has been weak against the run, but they've been really, really weak against the pass. Middle Tennessee's given up almost 9 yards per pass attempt this year. And even with a fairly tough schedule, Missouri State has thrown the ball extremely well, averaging over 8 yards per pass against teams that allowed just 7.6. Once again, Middle Tennessee giving up 8.9. So I like the passing advantage for Missouri State here. Now that they've got the run game going as well, looks like a pretty good offensive team here. And that is not the case with Middle Tennessee. I hate taking bad offensive teams and asking them to do something good for you, especially in a straight-up win situation. And if you back the Blue Raiders, that's exactly what you're doing. On the season, they're averaging only 16 points a game, only 4.9 yards per play, and they've struggled to run and throw the ball. I like Missouri State here at -2.5 on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Going to get your other game in a moment, Liberty UTEP at 8 o'clock Eastern Wednesday night. Quick reminder, I put bonus free plays on my page each and every day, along with my personal best bets. And you can go to my page to check them out right now, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. I've got an advanced NFL free play for this Sunday on my page right now. Last week, I gave you the Saints over the Giants as an advanced NFL free play. I've got another early NFL free play for you for this Sunday up right now on my page. So go check it out, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with the shortcut link, wt.buzz/SM. All right, let's look at this later game at 8 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports Network Wednesday night. Liberty and UTEP, another Conference USA battle. And this one sees, once again, a road favorite of around that 2 to 2.5 price range. Liberty right now laying 2 in some spots, 2.5 in others. So not sure it'll get to that key number of 3. But once again, if you like the Flames, if you like the road team, why risk it? Lay the 2, 2.5 now. If you like UTEP, you wait and try to get that key number of +3. And by the way, if you're new to sports betting, why do I say those key numbers, half points? Well, it's not like basketball where every point spread's basically equal, 1, 2, couple hundred points scored. Football, you have very unique scoring, 3s and 7s. And not a surprise, 3 and 7 are the 2 most key margins of victory, followed by 10, 14, 21, 17. It all makes sense. So it really is important to shop around and get the best price when you're hovering around this key number of 2, 2.5, 3. However, I'm going to stay away from the side in this game and look at the total instead between Liberty and UTEP. And I like the under 47.5 for a couple reasons. First of all, the early line was 45.5, quickly got bet up to 47.5 on Monday. I disagree with that move. Both 47 and 48 are key numbers. Could we possibly get a 48 perhaps? You might want to, again, hold off on this one and play it later and maybe try to get under 48. But even at 47.5, we get that key number of 47 working in our favor. And these are 2 teams that have struggled this year. They both come into this game 1-4 straight up. Liberty 1-4 against the spread. And it really has been a huge drop-off this year for the Flames. Third-year-old head coach Jamie Chadwell, they went 21-5 straight up the last 2 seasons. Only 12 and 13 against the spread, though. They were big favorites in a lot of those games, including last year when they routed UTEP 28-10 but didn't cover as a 24-point home favorite. Now they're just a 2-point road favorite. That shows how much they've fallen this year, and they've now lost 4 straight after beating Maine, an FCS team, in the season opener. They've gone 0-4 in their 4 FBS games, the last 4 games. Really don't trust them. They have gone under in 4 of their 5, and as often is the case when a team really regresses that quickly one year to the next, it's usually offensive problems. And that's exactly what Liberty's having. They're averaging only 17 points a game, only 5.3 yards per play. So no way I'm laying 2 with them on the road here in this situation. But do we trust UTEP? I'm not sure. They're averaging just 20.5 points a game and barely over 5 yards per play this season. And the thing that jumps out to me is they've actually been a pretty good defensive team, giving up just 5 yards per play against a schedule that averaged 5.7. Now you've got Liberty, who's averaging just 5.3 on the year. Flames are decent throwing the ball, but UTEP's been a pretty good pass defense this year. They're allowing just 7.1 yards per pass against teams that average 7.4. That's pretty much what Liberty does. And the UTEP run defense has been pretty strong as well, and that's really been the strength of the Liberty offensive attack. They average 165 rushing yards a game. They only throw for 175. Once again, Liberty is a run-based offense that gets nearly half their yards on the ground this year. UTEP giving up just 3.7 yards per carry against teams that average 4.4. Liberty has struggled stopping the run, but I'm not sure UTEP can take advantage. They're barely averaging 100 rushing yards per game this year. So I look for both defenses to hold the edge. 2 offenses that are averaging just 17 and 21 points a game. Sign me up for the under 47.5 between Liberty and UTEP on Wednesday night. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Hey, there you go. 2 ugly games, but I do think there's some betting opportunities on Wednesday night, both standalone national TV games, so I'm sure many of you are going to be playing them. Let me know your thoughts on these games. What sides or totals do you like Wednesday night? Hey, what other games do you like on Thursday and Friday? We've got 7 more Thursday and Friday college football games. A lot of weeknight games this week in college football. Drop your thoughts below in the comments. Hey, include some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. And don't forget, if you're liking these free play videos, all I ask is a thumbs up like. Boom, click it. Took 2 seconds. The more thumbs up likes, the more free play videos I'll do, not only for these weeknight college football games, but also the huge national matchups on Saturdays, NFL free play videos throughout the week. I try to give you the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night national TV games every week in the NFL as well. If you're finding it useful, thumbs up, like, and a positive comment below is all I ask here on WagerTalk TV. And once again, make sure you click subscribe and you click that bell for an instant alert so you know when these midweek games go up each and every day of the week. Not only college and pro football free play videos, but baseball playoffs are here. Basketball starts in just a few weeks. Best bets. It's so simple. If I have a best bet that I'm using, my clients get it. It's been that way since I became a full-time professional handicapper back in August of 1996, over 29 years ago. If I'm using a play, all my paid clients get it. And you too can get my personal best bets on my page each and every day. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And now is a great time to jump on football. We enter this week on a 75% all sports run over the past week in college and pro football and baseball combined. And right now, you don't have to decide if you want one 30-day package for college or a 30-day package for the NFL. You can get them both for the price of one with promo code FB30. FB30. Here's how it works. Normally, 30 days of college is $179. 30 days of the NFL is $179. I do have a combo package, which gets them both for $249. But when you use promo code FB30, as you see on your screen right now, you get them both for just $179. So go to my page right now, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. On the right-hand side, you will see all the subscriptions. Choose the football drop-down. Choose the 30-day combo, college and pro football. But at checkout, use promo code FB30 to get that price down to just $179 for 30 days of all-access college and pro football combined. It's like buying one and getting the other for free, so you don't have to decide. FB30 gets it done this week for 30 days all-access college and pro football combined. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And hey, get to my page quicker to sign up with promo code, or with shortcut code rather, WT.buzz/SM. And while you're there, check out the best bets, use that promo code, but also get the bonus free plays that I post each and every day for baseball and football, including an advanced NFL play with deep analysis for this Sunday, available right now on my page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. You can also get free plays, links to these videos, other information each and every day, also updates on my best bets on X and Instagram. Follow me at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, MERRIL, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV, because you know There's more free play videos coming up next.
Welcome to Puck Live 2026 NHL season right here on WagerTalk TV. Myself, Andrew McGinnis, and Carmine Bianco. You can catch us every single weekday right here, 11 a.m. Eastern, breaking down games, looking at sides, totals, props, same game parlays, all kinds of great stuff right here on WagerTalk TV. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from all the comments, and we look forward to cashing tickets with you all season long. We have 3 games to break down here today. We're going to look at all kinds of stuff, all kinds of little situations, props, and all kinds of stuff that goes into tonight's games. And towards the end of the show, you guys ask us any questions in the live comments. We'll put them up on the screen, and we'll do our best to answer them. I got to bring in my partner in crime, Mr. Carmine Bianco. What's up, Carm? How are you?
Oh man, I'm super excited. The NHL finally kicks off. This is the best time of the year, Andrew. Sports, like everything is there. NHL kicking off. The NFL is in full gear. The baseball playoffs are going on. The Blue Jays and the Yankees tonight. College football, the World Cup right around the corner. Everything is there. Basketball, and then college basketball starts. Everything is there. What a time, as they say. What a time to be alive. And I see our regular pucksters are in there. Tony Tucci, how you doing, man? I haven't seen that name in a while. Guys, we love having you in here, pucksters. All the WagerTalk insiders, great to have you guys as well, too. And if you haven't already done so, I'm going to harp on it just once and once only on today's show. Hit that subscribe button and join the ever-growing community here at WagerTalk. Over 220,000 subscribers. Man, I would love to hit 250 by the end of the year. So if you have a YouTube account, hit subscribe. If you have a couple troll accounts, use those ones.
Use those too.
Subscribe
Use
as
those
well
too.
too. Use those too. Every little bit helps. Andrew, before we get into it, I just want to let people know the format this year for Puck Time. For anyone who didn't tune in last night to your great show that you're going to be doing live each and every night, I believe. But the format is going to be something similar to WagerTalk today. You guys spoke last year and talked about the fact that you guys wanted to hopefully get more games covered. So this is how we're going to do it. Andrew and I, every single day, we're going to break down 3 games, and then we're going to bring in guests, sometimes 1, sometimes 2 on a show. Buster's away this week, but Prez and Brian will be on Thursday's show. They'll come on one at a time. Each one will break down a game. And you get 5 games broken down for the big Thursday card. Our 6 and 60 returns. Andrew's going to have a same game parlay segment that goes on all season long. Hopefully we make some money there. And I'm going to have a bankroll, not a bankroll challenge, basically a bankroll play of the day every single day, win or lose. You guys are going to see the stats up on the screen on how that is doing. It'll normally be like 2% of the bankroll, and we will try and hit some winners. You want to fade, you want to follow, or just sit back and entertain yourselves by watching the show and the games. I've got it for you. So we got you covered, and we're going to have a great time. And then once, I always talk about swag, Andrew, and then we're going to get going. Once this dumb postal strike is done north of the border, we'll be doing some swag giveaways.
For sure.
It seems like every year, just before the Christmas, the last couple of months, they go on strike. They ruin small businesses, but that's another topic for another day. So
I
with
love
that
this comment
said,
here. New season. It's like a freshly slate of ice, freshly scraped surface. How sweet it is to start a new NHL season. Shout out to Rich H. And you're right. It feels like a clean slate. You know, we all enjoyed our summers. We had a lot of fun. You go to the lake, you go to the beach, you do whatever, but now we're ready to lock in. And as you mentioned, Carm, we got a packed house right now on YouTube, on X. We're going to give you guys more picks. We're going to do our job. We're going to try and give you guys more picks this year. You guys have to do your job for us and hit the like button and just comment, engage. And of course, you can find Carm and I at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/CB or AM for our profile pages. Carm, everyone keeps wondering and asking me, who's going to win the cup? Who's going to win the cup? Who are your future picks? You know what my pick is? Anybody but Florida. Anybody but Florida. That's my pick for you. Let's start
Come
things
on,
off with our first
man.
game here. Chicago and the Florida Panthers. Banner night in Florida. And well, they didn't really give them a tough matchup as far as their first opponent of the season. We'll see if they're lacking any focus, though. Two big injuries, of course, for this team, Barkov and Kachuk. What do you think? Game one of the 2025-2026 NHL season.
Yeah, I get your anyone but Florida sentiment, Andrew, and just a small aside. Keep in mind, guys, the games today, these are Eastern times, are spread apart. So you can watch all three games. 5 o'clock game, this game here that we're talking about, an 8 o'clock game, which is the Rangers and Penguins, and then 10:30, which is the LA Kings and Colorado. So they spaced it out so you can watch about 7 hours of hockey. God bless the NHL for finally getting something right on opening cup night. Andrew, I get your sentiment about the Florida Panthers. It is when it's not your team winning, you hate one team dominating. It's just the way it is in any sport. This is why the New England Patriots got so much hate. This is why the Kansas City Chiefs got so much hate. Hey, listen, I get the whole salary cap thing. They didn't do anything wrong. They worked within the rules.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
And they live in a tax-free state, which is great for them as well too. But God bless them. I think this year is going to be a little tougher on them because of the Barkov thing, because the Nosek thing, and of course Matthew Tkachuk, who all start on the IR. So we'll see. But it's next man up syndrome for this or thing for this Florida Panthers team. And the Stanley Cup, if you guys wonder, on banner raising nights, the team lifting the banner, of course, is since 1979, 28, 13, and 4, a win rate of 0.663. So 66.33% of the time the team raising the banner wins. The last 3 years, Andrew, Colorado lifted the banner, beat the Chicago Blackhawks. I believe it was like 5-2. 2 years ago, it was the Vegas Golden Knights, I believe, beating the Seattle Kraken, if I remember correctly. And then last year it was the Florida Panthers beating the Boston Bruins, and now they get the Chicago Blackhawks out. These are going to be some tough games because I always say tread lightly the first few weeks of the NHL season. Because the teams you expect to be bad aren't always bad right from the get-go. We saw it with Chicago last year. We saw it with Anaheim last year. They won some games early on. And those ones, you want to be a little careful because they can sort of be bankroll busters early on in the season if you're laying way too much vig. And this is too much vig for me, Andrew, on this one. You can look at options of, say, taking Florida in regulation if you really want to take tonight's game, or some type of a correlated one with if you like the over 5.5 goals in it, you can take Florida with the over and bring that price right down. Only four of the last 45 games have gone to overtime, where if you had a regulation bet, you would lose. So that is not bad. That is less than 10%, about 9% of the time. So that is not a bad way to go. I still like Florida. Andrew, they're a good team. Would it surprise me if the Chicago Blackhawks win tonight? No, not at all. It would not at all. Spencer Knight returning back to Florida and he played well for Chicago when they picked him up. So does he come back to haunt Bobrovsky and the Florida Panthers tonight? I'm not necessarily sure that's going to happen. I'm probably going to lean to the over here. Just because it's such an emotional night. Maybe Florida gets off to a slow start after the Stanley Cup raising ceremonies. But you look at the history of the last 4, 5, 6 banner raising nights, and then been some higher scoring games. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. And case in point, I'm not sure if you guys remember Tampa Bay against Pittsburgh. That game was 1-0, I believe, for Pittsburgh going into the third period and finished 6-4 or something like that, 6-2. 4 empty net goals, 2 goals scored with the goalie pulled as well too. It was an insane game that turned a dead under into an easy over.
And that's why we love live betting. When it works, it works. And some of these games start slow. I remember last year, Carm, we'll get to this game tomorrow, but Montreal-Toronto had like a million chances in the game, and the game finished 1-0. Montembeault had I think 50 saves for the Montreal Canadiens. I think it's a good time to mention this, though, that Ralph Michaels gave us this earlier. And if guys, you use these notes and these stats and these trends to help your case. You don't need to bank your bets off of these, but since 2016 NHL games, number one of the season with a total of 6 or lower, so 5.5, 153, 73, and 17 over under. That's 61.2% to the over in game ones. Now, Carm, depending on who you talk to, people have different takes at this, but I'm still a big believer that the offenses are caught up. The defenses aren't nearly as much. Now, maybe this is a lazy take, but I don't think it is. The Florida Panthers have had a ton of intense games recently. I'm talking 2 Stanley Cup runs, 2 Stanley Cup victories. How do you think they're going to feel of a Chicago Blackhawks matchup to open up the night? I mean, don't get me wrong. These guys are athletes. These guys want to win every night. But you're going to try and convince me that if this was the Edmonton Oilers they were playing tonight, they wouldn't care a bit more, just a bit more. Or if it was the Tampa Bay Lightning, we saw that craziness that went on in the preseason, they'd care just a little bit more. So I think they're going to be lacking defensively, not as much offensively. And the Barkov injury, let's not forget, guys, the Barkov injury hurts them defensively and not, I wouldn't say not as much offensively, but the Barkov injury hurts them defensively. So, guys, for me, first bet of the season, free play of the day. This is a 3% client play. Run the first period over 1.5 goals here. I see at least 2 goals in the first period. Last year, banner raising night for the Florida Panthers finished with a score of 6-4. We got 10 goals in the first game of the Florida Panthers season last time out. I'll tell you what else I like. I like the first period team total over for the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to bet the money line or anything like that for this Hawks team. I don't. But first period over half a goal is -110. Over 1.5 goals, -117. Guys, let's get off to a good start. Let's see goals from both teams. Let's get an action-packed start here. We had a comment, somebody was mentioning, Carm, about the 10-minute delay for these teams. For the banner raising, not only do they announce the lineup for the whole, it's kind of annoying. They announce the entire medical staff, the training staff, every single coach that's on that team, every player, starting or not. That's like a 10, 15-minute delay. Sometimes that can happen. Shout out to Perlo. He says, love the first period over and Hawks to score first period. Well, Perlo, those are the 2 bets that I'm on. So hopefully those 2 cash, Carm. But here we go. Carmine, your number 1 fan right off the bat. Andrew's giving out.
I love Hal, man. Hal's the greatest. I'm going to answer a couple of quick questions in the chat. Annabelle says, are we reading our messages in the chat? We are, but we are, Andrew's producing the show today. So we're taking it easy on him. He can't be answering questions in the chat. We will try and answer some questions at the end of the show. And when he goes to me, the last thing you guys wanted to see me doing is looking down at my phone, typing a message to reply. The best bets will be part of the show. But initially, early on, the season has just started. It is tough to start popping out best bets. We're just going to give you our thoughts on games, give you leans. I think is the best way to go, because sometimes someone tuning in for the very first time and watching Puck Time that's come across us on YouTube will watch these and take everything at okay, they really like this this Chicago first period over. I'm gonna pound this game. Give it some time, guys. Yeah, let's just play out the season. This is like the Boston Marathon. You have to take it easy. It's like the Boston Marathon where that guy sprints out for the first kilometer or first mile. He's like, I'm in front at the Boston Marathon. And then
I'm in first place.
Mile 2 he is in the back of an ambulance being taken to one of the hospitals. I'm in first place. That's just it. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll wait for some trends to take effect. You know what I mean? Like last year, I didn't think the Washington Capitals, and I know Wash Redskins is in our chat. I didn't think the Washington Capitals were going to be as good as they were. But my God, they didn't just start winning. They continued to win all season long. Kudos to that team. So that is a trend, or that is something that you need to look at. Are teams that were sort of middle of the pack, that had good off seasons, had good preseasons, are they ready to take the next step forward? Sometimes it may take you 5 to 6 games to get there, to realize it, but to do it from day one is very tough. So that's why I'm I'm on player prop mode for today's show instead of sides. But I do think the over in the Chicago game, it's at 5.5. If it was at 6, I wouldn't touch it. At 5.5,
good player prop game.
Yeah.
Good player prop game. All right, guys, keep the comments flooding. We got to get through to the next games. Keep the comments coming. One more I'll mention, because I wanted to mention this anyway. Is anyone considering Chicago plus 1.5? What's up, occupancy? My thing for this would be, you guys know I like the first period in this game. I personally believe the better bet would be the plus a half goal in the first period. Because that way, if it goes, you get out 1-1, you get out unscathed, you get the win. Draw or win, you get, obviously, occupancy. You know how that bet works. I would think that's where the edge is. The edge in this game with the Hawks is in the first period, not in the full game. From where I'm sitting, Carm, I have these to pull up just really quick. I thought I did. We'll see. There we go. These are the lines for the games: Burakovsky, Bedard, Donato, Bertuzzi, Nazar, Teravainen. So look, someone's got to score. Someone's got to play with Bedard. I think Ryan Donato shot props could be good. Frank Nazar is going to be good this year. We'll see. But someone's got to produce there with them. And this is what it looks like right now for the Florida Panthers. Up the middle, Bennett, Lundell, Rodriguez, and Luke Kunin on the bottom there. I think Marchand, right winger, Reinhardt on the right wing. For some reason, I can't explain why, but the Chicago Blackhawks have given up a ton of shots against right wingers. I don't know. I looked at that last night. So interesting stuff here, guys. Always look at some of these lineups to help make your props, because that can help you the most. And I'll tell you, one that I noticed, Reinhardt over 3.5 shots on goal. It's plus 130. He's hit this in 5 of his last 6 home games and 4 of the last 5 games against the Chicago Blackhawks. All right. I'm done, Carm. I'm done. I'm done with this game.
All right.
I'm all good.
No,
I'm all good.
but listen, I get it, Andrew. And, if we rely on some of the data from last season, the Chicago Blackhawks were one of the top 3 teams last year in shots on goal allowed. Whether that changes, whether with the coaching being different, whether that changes, remains to be seen. But they were, and that's why I took that last night when we had that show. I took the Carter Verhaeghe over 2.5 shots. It was minus 140. It's still a lot of vig to lay, but it's sort of that next man up in Florida. And you look at the lineup that you put up there, and it's just hard to fathom that even missing Matthew Tkachuk, Barkov, that's what the team looks like. They still have a lot of depth on it, and these guys are signed for a while. So I'm anxious to see if Chicago gets some power plays. I want to see the Bedard, Teravainen hookup. I think on the power play, those two are going to click on the power play. So it remains to be seen whether it happens right out of the gate, game 1, as far as the first period over and the game total goes. I would love to see it happen.
Look, last year, I took the year off pretty much from giving out player props to clients. This summer, I've kind of figured out how I want to approach it. And funny enough, I know people don't like parlays, but I'm going to be doing some same game parlays, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 legs. And you talked about the Teravainen and Bedard hookup. Every player has their guy they connect with. And I think even on bad teams like Chicago, you're going to be able to find some guys that, hey, if this guy scores, this guy gets the assist. If that guy gets the assist, that guy scores. So great stuff here, Carm. Let's move on to Pittsburgh and the New York Rangers. You gave out on my show last night a really good future. If you don't mind, Carm, would you bring it up here for the New York Rangers? It was a really good one. I love it. I'm probably going to tail you on it. But of course, another hefty price tag. The New York Rangers, high expectations going into this season. And I really don't know anybody, not a single soul, that likes anything to do with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year, and for good reason. What do you have for us on this one? And if you don't mind, Carm, what's that future you have for us?
Yeah, so I'm going to mention two of them, two futures that you guys can look at in this game, and then just give a quick opinion on the game, because I think regardless of that 220 price, it almost feels like this game is a coin flip. The 220 is enough to keep me off the game. But with that said, I was on Monday's Wager Talk today with Andy Lang, and this is one of the client plays that I have as a season-long play. And the second one that I'm going to mention will also be a very small client play. But I took the Pittsburgh Penguins and released them at under 78.5 points. It's now 76.5. So clients got a full 2 points, which is a victory, which is huge with season totals if they got on that one early. It's a rebuilding year for this Pittsburgh team, Andrew. It's a retooling season, not really a rebuilding year, but it is an old team. You look at it, it's a new coach, Dan Muse, because we're going to talk about where their coach is, Cross on the Rangers bench. But you have Crosby, fantastic players, going to have a break, another awesome year. 38 years old, Letang 38, Malkin 39, Carlson 35, Brian Rust 33, and Rust won't be playing tonight. It is tough. And I said on last night's show that I honestly believe that if the Pittsburgh Penguins are near the bottom of the Eastern standings, which I believe they're going to be, that at the trade deadline, Sidney Crosby becomes a rental player. They move him somewhere to a playoff-bound team that is looking to shore it up. And then he just returns to Pittsburgh in the offseason to finish out his career there. And especially if they get the number 1 pick in the draft and they get McKenna, he is a perfect mentor for McKenna. So we'll see if that happens or not. But we're on record here, October 7th. The other one is, and we saw with Washington last year, a team that didn't look good the previous season, had a fantastic season. Their coach wins. They get into the playoffs. They finish first overall, and their coach wins the Jack Adams. Mike Sullivan goes from Pittsburgh to the Rangers, a team that clearly disappointed last season, gave up a ton of shots, left Shesterkin out to dry on most nights. Adam Fox did not have a good season last year. They need to bounce back this season, and if they do and make the playoffs and finish in one of the top 2 spots in that Metropolitan, he is going to win the Jack Adams, and he's 22-1.
I just love the price on that. That is awesome. Look, I'll come out and say it. I gave out 12-1 Marty St. Louis. It was as high as 14-1. And you guys know I'm a Habs fan, but I love that number. But Mike Sullivan, look, if we can be real here for a second, guys, the Metropolitan Division overall was not good last year. The Metropolitan Division seems to get exposed every single season in the playoffs. Am I wrong, Carm? I mean, the Capitals, they beat the Canadiens, they lose. The Hurricanes, every single year, the Hurricanes win 1 round, and then they lose in round 2. It's not acceptable. I mean, when is the last time we've seen a Metropolitan Division team do something? This team... this division, yeah, sure, you can be good within your own division. And then last year with the Rangers not making the playoffs, it was really, really tough for them. But yeah, I'll tell you, one prop that I like here in this one, Carm, is Ricard Raquel. He's a player, just bringing up the lineups here for you guys. No Brian Rust to start things out for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's be completely honest. This lineup is looking rough right now for Pittsburgh. But as we always say, someone's got to shoot the puck. Someone's got to score here. And I want somebody that's a running mate with Sidney Crosby. It's not easy to play with Sidney Crosby. I don't know why. Maybe there's one player, Carm, that now plays for Tampa that the Penguins refuse to pay money to that really they could use right now. His name is Jake Gensel. They could use that guy
Yes.
right now. And
They
unfortunately, it's
certainly could.
Ricard Raquel. So here it is. Ricard Raquel over 2.5 shots on goal plus 100. Ricard Raquel, anytime point minus 154. If you don't like the minus 154, just play that over 2.5 shots on goal plus 100. But I do like that player point prop as well, minus 154. So look, guys, sometimes when you bet these top lines to get a point, you're going to have to lay a little bit of vig. That's just how it is. Unless you're betting third line guys, you're going to have to really, get some of that. But over 2.5 shots on goal plus 100 for a guy playing next to Sidney Crosby. Ricard Raquel, guys, 3 of his last 4 games. He hit this last season, and he does very well in this matchup against the New York Rangers. Carm, before we get to the next game, you and I did want to mention something that we have going right now. Look, all of you guys watching, all of you guys that are here watching Puck Time with us every single day, every single year, we appreciate you. Our best bets, our favorite plays are over at WagerTalk.com. Right now, available at the website, we have 7-day packages available, 1-month packages available. But for a limited time, promo code NHL200 takes $200 off full season passes for myself, WT.buzz/AM, for Carmine, WT.buzz/CB. This year, I'm going to be giving out same game parlays, props, sides, totals, team totals. We earned over 20 units last year in the regular season. I'm not even happy with that. I want to do much better than that, especially this year with me giving out props. So you guys can get all the content you want with the pre-scout 10 p.m. Eastern, with Puck Time 11 a.m. Eastern. But best bets, favorite plays of the day available at WagerTalk.com. And Carm, it's also $5 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.
Yeah. Yes, it is. That's a great deal because there's so much hockey every single day of the week, pretty much. And then that carries you into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So when we're talking full seasons, we're pretty much talking full seasons. We're going from beginning of October to June. That is about as much sports as you can get. So I think that is a great deal that they have at Wager Talk, and $5 customer appreciation day as well too. So you can get a ton of plays. I have an NFL play up for Sunday's action. Andrew, a quick note on this game here. If the total's been fluctuating between 5.5 and 6. I see some 6s there. I see that DraftKings has 6.5, but it is really shaded to the under, laying $1.30, $1.40. I'm not laying that on a total. A player prop that I like is I'm going to take under the total of 2.5 for Mika Zibanejad. It is. We're going to see if Mike Sullivan is putting in a new game plan in New York to protect their goalie and play a more defensive style. And I was leaning to the under in this game, but I just could not pull the trigger at 6 because it could very well land on a 4-2 game. So I'll probably take 1 or 2 player props, but I wanted to make sure that I at least gave something out that I'm looking at playing to people who are watching live or later on this afternoon when it is uploaded.
Yeah, we'll be giving out player props all year. And of course, guys, tread lightly with your units, tread lightly with your best bets. Be smart with opening night, but also if you see spots you like, feel free to fire. I got a 4% play, and it's for $5 Tuesday. So my favorite play of the day, just $5 at Wager Talk. The rest of my plays, all access. Going to also have a player prop package up as well. But you're better off just buying 7 days of NHL. Get a sample size of what I do, and then you can join me for a month or for the full season with that great deal. All right, Carm. Last game of the night, Colorado Avalanche, LA Kings. We have 2 massive, massive favorites, and then we got to pick them. You got to love that to end things off here. The Kings and the Avalanche. I'll say this. I mean, Colorado dealt with some drama last year. That's kind of what I've been saying when I talk about this team with the whole Mikko Rantanen thing, with trading him away, getting Netchus back, and now they're kind of in the same situation. But the continuity of this team, I think, is good for them. Landeskog is back. They're pretty healthy on the front end and the back end. Their goalie, they got a good goalie now. But the LA Kings, man, they've got depth as well. I think that's the biggest key for this Kings team is if they can have their depth on full display, they're going to be a really good team. Only issue I have with them is their defensive core. Like if you look at their defensemen, it's not great. If we go through the bottom, Mikey Anderson, Drew Doughty, Brian Dumoulin, Brant Clark, Edmondson, and Cody Ceci. I mean, Brant Clark being on that defensive core is like me being at a bar with you and Prez. He's bringing down the age. He's bringing down the average age there. That's how he's around a bunch of guys 20 years older than him, Brant Clark. He was on the World Junior team like 4 years ago. So I do worry about LA's defensive ability. What do you think about this game? Another 5.5 total here.
Yeah, towards the second half of the season, Andrew, they were a tough team to play against at home. Very good, but they had some struggles early on, road and at home. So we'll see how they are out of the gate, and that's always tough. I'm, and this is not because of edibles, because I don't take them, but I am high on the Colorado Avalanche this season. And the Western Conference is so tough. There's so many good teams in the Western Conference. The Vegas Golden Knights seem to be everyone's favorite. You still have a very good Winnipeg team and an Edmonton team, Dallas Stars. You have to navigate your way through it. But I love the fact that we have a full season of Landeskog. I think they pretty much worked out the goaltending issues in Colorado. Blackwood is injured, so it looks like it's going to be it'll be Wedgwood starting. And the guy last season, Andrew, had a very good record. 14, 6, and 2, 232 goals against average, 908 save percentage. And this is a guy who is basically the number 2 with number 1 numbers. So that duo, if they can build off of last season, that duo is going to help this team. And then you've got the guys like McKinnon and Makar and Necas, who they picked up from Carolina. No white noise over this team, obviously with Rantanen gone. So we'll see what we get out of Colorado. Now, can they win opening night? Again, guys, it's a tough one. It's a coin flip, but I would lean to Colorado in this one. Prior to the LA Kings winning the last 2 games at home, where they faced the Colorado Avalanche, Colorado had won 6 games in LA. They travel well. And I think at this price, -110, I'm perfectly happy with giving you guys a lean on Colorado on this one and go one step further. I love this price. I bet it last night, whether it happens or not. Anytime goal scorer is always tough. But Gabriel Landeskog plus 280. I'm getting almost 3-1 for him to score a goal on opening night. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not laying any vig. And if they get some power plays, I'm hoping him, Makar, and McKinnon can get it going. McKinnon's a good setup guy as well too. So we'll see what happens. But
underrated playmaking, Carm. Underrated playmaking.
Yes.
So I like that. Get Landy back in the win column as far as some goals here. Get him back in some goals. I saw he got in a fight in the preseason. That's how you know Captain Landeskog is back. He's already fighting in the preseason. I get a player prop in this one as well. I'm going to go with Cale Makar, power play point, plus 180. Some books have plus 190 as well. He's like minus 200 to get an anytime point, but he is plus 190 or 80 to get a power play point. He's the quarterback of the power play. He's pretty much out there for a minute and a half on each power play. This team is so fast and dangerous. They do get to the power play quite often. And when I look at this matchup, I do think we'll see some physicality. And physicality, of course, leads to power plays. So if you want to get involved and you want to take some type of prop with Cale Makar versus looking at, individual point 5-on-5, the power play point is really good at plus 180. So I really like this. And I think that, you're going to look at these power play points this year for some of these sharp teams. And that's the way to avoid. Last year, I was betting team totals a lot to avoid laying vig. And that's the same thing I'm going to do with player props. I'm going to try and find ways to avoid betting the big juiced odds. So That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Put any questions that you want in the live chat. We'll take anything.
I will answer
you
one, Andrew.
Yep.
I'll answer one. Let's go. Let go to get a grip or something like that. He asked, when are we even going to start charging to watch this channel? We're not charging to watch this channel, but if Johnny Detroit is watching, our fearless leader, he will tell you or put in there about being a WagerTalk insider, because I believe you get a lot of the GOAT, Gianni's stuff, his blackjack ones, his live betting stuff. You get all access to that one, where other people, if you click on the link, you won't be able to get in. So becoming a WagerTalk insider to access that, and that thing's like about $1,000.
Oh
so,
boy, Carm. Oh boy.
Oh
We're
man.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I love
Carm.
it. Carm, where'd your hair go? You know where my hair has gone? When you're a Sabres fan, when you're a Bills fan, you don't have time for hair products. You pull your hair out all season long. I pulled my hair out last night because I had the Chiefs -3.5.
Oh
and
man.
they just choked that game away. My God, what the hell? Trevor Lawrence fell to the ground at the 6-yard line. He was like those commercials. I've fallen and I can't get up. And he pressed his little button for help. And then he got up and walked into the end zone. Like, what the hell? Anyways, this is a hockey show, but I am going to go watch some Sabre games this year. I am going to travel the U.S. watching some World Cup games. I will have it all online for you guys. And if I'm visiting a state and a stadium where you guys are, I'm going to let you guys know, meet up and have some drinks on me.
There we go, Carm. World Cup, man. It's going to be a big time. Vito asking, I like to ask every NHL season, what sites or tools do you use for accurate daily lineup stats, updates for teams throughout the season? I'll just say that I like to use Daily Faceoff. I think that's a really good one for updated lines. You can use Left Wing Lock. That's a really good one. As far as goalies are concerned, I use goaliepost.com. Gives you updated goalie starting info. Also gives you the reporter that reported it, which is super nice. And you and I both use a lot of the same info sites, but there's all kinds of great stuff to look at. Any one or two you want to shout out there, Carm?
Yeah, you know what I mean? As the trends, and, let the trend be your friend, as they say, but it's too, obviously it's too early. The season's starting. You want to look at last year's numbers, you can, because it gives you that option. But a place like EV Analytics, just register an account there. I believe it's free. And, they'll charge for the deeper dive stuff, but you can check things like a team's record, home and away, or individual, or both, for first periods, for full games. And you can see there are trends that set in. You'll see a team, you know what I mean? Like I talked a couple of years ago about betting against the New Jersey Devils money line at home, taking the dog, because New Jersey at one point was something like 3-13 after 20 minutes. They don't start the games well. So you could take advantage of those and make some money before the Brooks juice them. So EV Analytics is a good one. StatMuse is good as well too, where you guys can get info like shots on goal. You can punch in NHL 2024-25 season or 25-26 shots on goal allowed, and it'll give you the from top to bottom. It will leave out a little portion of it because, again, it's a subscriber site, but if you have an account there, you can still see some good info.
StatMuse is great. I like StatMuse, Carm.
Yeah,
it's good.
So it's always good to as I say, guys, is to do a little bit of homework. We're trying to help you out a little bit, but if you want to become a serious NHL bettor in general, listen to the shows, get our thought process on how we go about games, watch WagerTalk today as well too. And you can sort of establish, a line of thinking. You don't have to follow the same line, but it might help you get your own line of thinking on how to get to a winner.
I love this. I had Dodgers money line, Cubs game over, and a Chiefs in a parlay. I almost duplex somebody. Jay,
this is where you go outside and kick a swirl.
Yeah,
No
it
kicking
happens.
squirrels today, but
Our guy Lou,
it's what
shout out to
happens.
Lou, so supportive, always appreciate him. He says, just for fun, how many screens do you guys have up during the season? At least 3, I would say. I usually have either my best bet of the night or the game that I'm a fan of the most. So tonight, the Blue Jays will be on the center screen, and the 2 smaller screens will have Rangers, Penguins, and Panthers, Blackhawks. I got to be a fan, Carm. It's healthy for us to all be a fan. We sports bet every day. Main TV, Blue Jays, Yankees. Secondary monitors, we will have Hawks, Panthers, Rangers, Penguins. What about you? I mean, I know you're a busy guy
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, let me tell you this first of all, Andrew. I think Ariel Epstein, who's a huge Yankees and Ravens fan, I don't think she's ever going to talk to me again. I sent her a text message at like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, "Hey, Ariel, you up?" And she's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I go, "Well, the Yankees aren't up." And then the LOL, and then that's it. I think I've been blocked on all social media channels.
Oh,
She is
boy.
a diehard Yankees fan. I got to do it. Sometimes you have to have some fun with your friends. But she took me to a Yankees game when Joe and I were in town to watch the Phillies and Yankees. She's great. If you haven't given her a follow yet, she has a YouTube channel as well too. Prop Queen. Give her a follow there as well too. But with that said, Andrew, the NHL promo, I think, is fantastic. You have plays up for the NHL today. I do not have plays up, and I'll be honest with my subscribers because I have quite a few that have signed on. I likely won't have a card up today, but I will have a card up tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday is just like a monster NHL day, and we're gonna have a lot of plays up. Slow and steady wins the race. This is my plans this season. I'm going to go to Detroit. I'm going to watch some Red Wing games. I'm going to go to Buffalo. I'm going to watch some Sabres games. It is actually cheaper to travel than to go downtown Toronto, 45 minutes from where I am, to watch a Leafs game. It is absolutely ridiculous.
You hate to see that. This comment,
and
sad background. Yeah, my background looks like I'm working for CRA. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, wait, hold on, Carm. Hold on. I think this is good to do stuff with this.
No.
I'm going to show you something.
If some guy in an orange jumpsuit walks behind you there with like towels, I'm going to be a little bit worried.
I was gifted this unbelievable background by somebody, and the glass broke. Okay, guys, I'm showing you this right now on the air. I have glass on my floor right now from trying to hang it up. So this will be up behind me. It looks really nice, but we got to get that up on the wall. All right, we got to wrap it up, Carm. Guys, this is awesome. Love interacting with all of you. I thought it was a really good flow today. Hockey is back. We're back. NHL 200 to get $200 off our NHL season passes. If you're watching on YouTube, pump up those likes, guys. It really helps us out. Puck Time is back. We got the most loyal following on WagerTalk. At least we think so. Do us a favor. Hit the like button. Follow Carmine at Carmine Bianco WT, myself at McGinnis Picks, and that will do it for episode 1 of the season. Best of luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to Wager Talk Daily, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is Tuesday. It's $5 Tuesday. We're all about finding edges. We're going to be heavy on college football. Jesse's going to break down Iowa State, Colorado. He's going to give us two college teams. We give him the choice. You want to fade or you want to support two teams? Well, we all know he's coming on here to fade a couple teams. Brian Power is going to take a look at Blue Jays and Yankees, Eagles and Giants, and the Prez, my good friend. Lawrence is going to preview Broncos versus Jets in London. Let's cash some tickets across the board. Of course, we're going to do all around the world. It's NHL. Of course, we got to give out a free NHL play. So no time to waste. Hit the like button, please. You guys know it helps the algorithm, and appreciate you guys for watching us live. Let's bring in Jesse and let's talk some college football. Jesse, this Iowa State Colorado game. I just wonder at some point, does this Deion Sanders health situation, at what point does it affect the team? I don't know. You're wearing the Colorado jersey. I want your take on Deion and what's going on, sadly, with him, and then your take on this game.
Well, I think it's fair to tell the viewers a little bit of the backstory with the Colorado jersey, because if I'm going to come out here and talk about Colorado wearing their jersey, they might think I'm a little bit biased. But I didn't come upon this jersey because I'm a fan. In fact, I lost a bet with Colorado fans, which is how I ended up with this jersey. It was a win-win, though. I'm happy with it. I am a fan from week to week. I will bet against Colorado or I will bet on Colorado. But I got to say, this line opened at 4.5. It's been bet down to mostly threes across the board now. I do still see some 3.5s. And I do like Colorado in this spot, Andy, because if you watched Iowa State play at Cincinnati last week, there's no way you could be laying money with Iowa State as a road favorite. Now, they lost 38-30, and you might think, well, that's not that bad. But they trailed 31-7 with a minute to go in the second quarter, and they stormed all the way back. Admirable performance from Rocco Becht. He threw for 314 yards and a pair of touchdowns on 30 of 48 passing. He also ran the ball in for 2 more touchdowns. And there was this narrative heading into this game that Iowa State lost both its starting corners for the season, and they were going to be really vulnerable to the pass. However, Brendan Sorsby threw for just 214 yards and 2 tutties. He did score 2 rushing touchdowns as well. And it wasn't the passing game that did them in. It was the running game. Cincinnati ran the ball for 264 yards or 260 yards on 34 carries, averaging 7.6 yards per carry. The game was not as close as it appeared to be at the end. The reason why Iowa State was able to claw their way back into that game is 128 penalty yards for the Bearcats, and that included a couple touchdowns getting taken off the board. Cincinnati was really dominant in that game, and I worry about Iowa State. I think they're just a little bit too banged up. Colorado has a lot of fight in them, and, you know, the health concerns for Deion, he's a man of faith, and I believe that his players are probably thinking along those lines. And I think in tough times with his health, you know, the team's going to rally around him. I do like Colorado getting the points here. I also like the over. I think we can see Colorado score some points on this defense. Like I say, they just got absolutely gashed on the ground by Cincy last week. Colorado with their dual threat quarterback, I think they can put some points on the board here. I wouldn't be surprised to see both teams score in the 30s again here in this game.
All right, Jesse, we always give you the chance to give us 2 teams to bet on, 2 teams to fade. I already know the teams you're going to talk about, and I'm going to go head to head with you on one of them. So, if you could, in the chat, put a little friendly wager that Jesse and I can make. Just a gentleman's little wager here. I want to hear the teams you're going to fade, and then I'm going to tell you which one I disagree with, and we'll come back next week and see if we can settle up. So put in the chat. Maybe I got to wear a hat or something kind of dopey. Just put in the chat what you like. So, Jesse, give us 2 teams you're going to fade.
Well, let's start with your favorite, Florida State. I've been printing money fading Florida State the last couple weeks. We did have Virginia outright over Florida State, and I did bet against them, or I didn't have a client play on it, but I gave out a play on on Miami in that game. Florida State, really, they're still living off of that win over Alabama in week 1. Then they go out and play a couple cupcakes, including East Texas, A&M, and Kent State. And I think this line is influenced by, first of all, the yardage and the points they put up against those 2 cupcakes and the Alabama win. Let's look at Thomas Castellanos. If you remember, I was highly critical of his comments giving Alabama bulletin board material in the offseason heading into that week 1 matchup. It worked out for him, but since that Alabama game, he has struggled. In fact, his year-to-date stats, if you exclude FCS teams, just against Division I schools, he's just got 3 touchdowns and 5 picks on well below 60% passing. They don't really have much of a threat in the passing game. They are able to run the ball, though, and that could be scary, but they're going up against a Pitt team that can actually defend the run pretty well. They rank number 1 in the ACC against the run, allowing just 66 yards per game. And it's not like Pitt hasn't played anybody. And it's not like this isn't a good Pitt team. Pitt's record is absolutely, well, it's not a fair representation of the team because their quarterback, Eli Holstein, ranked dead last in Power 4 among Power 4 quarterbacks in efficiency. He was absolutely terrible. He lost his job. In comes freshman Mason Heinschel. I don't know how to say his name, but the kid, the 18-year-old, throws for 323 yards, no picks on 30 of 41 passing against Boston College. Yes, I know it was just one result. Yes, I know it was against Boston College, but I'm pretty convinced that this Mason Heinschel is going to be better than Eli Holstein because, let's face it, the bar was pretty low. This is a big number, double-digit spread. I honestly think Pitt has a puncher's chance here. I'll take the double digits. I'll take 10.5, and I'll take them for a sprinkle on the money line.
No.
Is this the one
right.
you disagree with?
No. It's this next one that I'm gonna friendly disagree with you on. So all right, go for it. What's your next team you're fading?
Well, Georgia Tech was one of my long shots heading into the season to make the playoffs. I'm a big Georgia Tech guy. I love Brent Key. I love Haynes King. Unfortunately, this is a team that, due to the style they play, they can lay an egg occasionally. And in their last game against Wake, they trailed 17-3 at the half against Wake. They needed to come back with a miracle in overtime to win 30-29. They laid an egg there. They got away with it. Now they're playing a Virginia Tech team that lost its coach or fired its coach early in the season. Virginia Tech is 2-1 under Phil Montgomery, and that includes a road win at NC State. Now they just played Wake Forest as well, and they played a 1-score game at home against Wake Forest and lost. So both these two teams are coming off games against Wake Forest. Georgia Tech won in overtime, and Virginia Tech lost a close game. Georgia Tech obviously relies on the running game and Haynes King, the quarterback. Now, one thing is they also rely on the health of Haynes King. If Haynes King gets dinged up, they're kind of screwed. But they also struggle to defend the run. I think that might be the key here. Georgia Tech ranks dead last in the ACC, allowing 166 rushing yards per game. Now, Virginia Tech doesn't run the ball as well as Georgia Tech does, but they're still average to above average running the ball. I think both teams want to establish the run here. Georgia Tech's a little better at running the ball, and Virginia Tech's a little better at defending it. I think we get within that 2.5 or 14.5 point spread. I think Virginia Tech can keep this to less than 2 touchdowns.
All right, this is the one. I think Georgia Tech drops a hammer. Like you said, last week was kind of they laid an egg. I think they get back on track. And you're right, Haynes King is, long term, this isn't great for him. 21 carries last week, but he did average 5 yards per carry. And I just can't get over this Virginia Tech team who gave up 250 rushing yards to Old Dominion. I think this is a great spot for Georgia Tech to really
That was
get back on track.
pre-coach change, though. I will point out.
Details. It's a fair point. It's a great point. I just like these teams that when they played their worst, they kind of came out with a win. So I'm gonna go head to head with you. I'll take Georgia Tech to win by 20. So yeah, that's where I'll be going with that one. So what else are you liking this week, Jesse? What teams have you been enjoying watching or supporting?
Yeah, Alabama and Vandy went well for me. I did a show on Last Call. I said, the public's got this one completely wrong because the public just loved Vandy. And I did say on Last Call with Joe Madden, I said, if you like Vandy, bet them for the first half, but Alabama is going to run away with it late. And sure enough, that's what happened. Now, I know I'm going to catch some flack. Some people are going to say, that, last score in the final seconds, you got lucky. I don't think that's a fair take. I think that was part of the handicap because it was a revenge game. You had to know that if Kalen DeBoer was going to have an opportunity to run in a late score, he was going to take it. I believe I said that in my analysis of the game. So yeah, that was the highlight of the week with college football last week. As far as what I got going on right now, we got the NHL opening night. My $5 Tuesday play is a player prop in the game between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. A big rivalry game, probably an entertaining game to watch. So yeah, you can pick that up for $5.
Awesome. Great stuff, Jesse. Always looking sharp in the Colorado jersey. Best of luck. We're going to visit it next week. If Georgia Tech wins, maybe you have to dress like a bee.
All right.
Great work, Jesse. Always my favorite college breakdowns of the week. You always bring the thunder. Good luck to you on $5 Tuesday. And let's get NHL season started. Jesse, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Let's just move right into Brian Power. Brian is looking spiffy as always with the shirt. I almost put on that shirt, Brian. And then I was like, Brian normally wears that WagerTalk shirt, so I'm going to make sure I don't wear it. That way, we do. You're muted, Brian. There we go.
You think I've done enough of these that I would forget to, I would remember to turn that off. What I was saying, Andy, I was joking, and now the joke won't land as well, is I'm glad you think of me when you're getting dressed, at least. That is refreshing to know.
When I first got to WagerTalk, everyone just thought I was crazy because I hate when I'm wearing the same color as another guest. I think it looks bad on camera. And so
it looks a little weird.
When we would come on shows, if we were wearing the same shirt, I would get up and go change, and everyone would be like, what are you doing? And I was like, look, it's my thing. So it's my one thing that I'm really anal about. So
glad that we can be dressed appropriately on the program today.
Absolutely. Let's do some Major League Baseball here. The Yankees have done a great job. They've held the Blue Jays to 23 runs the first two games. Yikes. Yeah. So we got Baber for Toronto, Rodon for the Yankees here. I don't know what to say about this pitching staff for the Yankees. It's been really, really bad. How do you break down this game? I mean, we got the Yankees as a favorite here, and the over/under at 7.5. So the books are sticking to their guns on this number. What are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, so I'm going to start by apologizing to Blue Jays fans, Andy. Of course, we have so many great Canadians here at WagerTalk. Jesse Schul was on before me. Of course, one of my favorites, the Prez, will be on next, I do believe. I saw Carmine Bianco in the chat, I think. And the reason I'm apologizing, Andy, is because I have spent the bulk of this season saying the Yankees were the best team in the American League East. That, clearly, based on what you just said, has not been the case the first two games of this series. Toronto, as you astutely pointed out, has scored 23 runs off 29 hits to take that commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 situation. They have more home runs, 8, than strikeouts in the series. Pretty good for Toronto at the plate. Game 2, this is incredible. Game 2 saw the Blue Jays take a 12-0 lead before the Yankees recorded their first hit. So a one-sided game indeed. Now, of course, the Yankees are returning home for Game 3. They are favored to win with Carlos Rodon on the mound. Rodon has allowed 3 runs or fewer each of his last 11 starts. So you might say he seems like an ideal candidate to slow down this Toronto offense. But Well, one might have said the same thing about Max Fried heading into game 2, and he obviously got lit up. And there are some troubling numbers, guys, for Rodon heading into tonight's critical game 3. 3.78 FIP, not all that great. 5.32 career ERA in the postseason. 2 regular season starts versus Toronto. Rodon allowed 6 runs, 2 were unearned, and had the same number of walks as he did strikeouts. That's never good. Also, Vlad Guerrero, who's obviously been on a tear in this series so far, 6 for 9, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's 10 for 17 lifetime against Rodon. That's not good if you're a Yankees fan, obviously. And oh, by the way, I have not even mentioned yet this atrocious Yankees bullpen, which has an ERA of 9 and a 1.76 whip so far in the playoffs since August 1st. This has been the 6th worst bullpen by ERA, have the pinstripes been. So I'm going to admit here, I'm not confident enough, Andy, to bet Toronto to make it a 3-0 sweep. But given all the info I just laid out, I will bet on their offense to go over the team total of 3.5 tonight. Since the All-Star break, the Blue Jays have been number 1 in all of baseball when it comes to runs scored, batting average, OPS, and WRC+. We only need, again, 4 runs tonight from them, and we're guaranteed all 27 outs because they're the road team. So Toronto team total over 3.5.
All right, that 7.5 for the total game is just,
it seems
staring
low
me in the face.
It seems low.
And maybe that's just I'm not a baseball guy. Maybe that's just the average guy in me, and the books are going, no, we're not going to overreact. Andy, you're the one that overreacts. But boy, that's 7.5. Man, maybe the books are telling us something. They already know.
Yeah, like I said,
4-1 game, 5-1 game.
coming into this series, my thought was the Yankees again. And that's why I started with the apology. I thought the Yankees were the better team. I thought they had a chance to win this series in 4. That is now impossible to do. Obviously, they would have to win 3 in a row to advance. So I don't want to come too much off my pre-series opinion. But look, this Blue Jays offense, the proof's in the pudding. Like I said, number 1 basically in every key offensive category since the break. So let's bet on that offense to go over 3.5 runs. I don't think it should be that hard.
Let's move to Thursday Night Football, Eagles and the Giants. Jackson Dart came crashing down to earth. I saw a stat. That was the first time in NFL history a team had turned the ball over 5 possessions in a row. Yeah, yikes. Short week. Maybe the short week is good because you don't have time to dwell on it and think about it. Or maybe not enough time to get ready and prepared. You got the Eagles in an obvious bounce back spot. This line is already up over the key number of 7. So we're up to 7.5 over-unders. 41.5. How do you break down Eagles and the Giants?
I'm glad you brought over that turnover stat, Andy, because I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But first, did you all know, going back to the start of last season, the Giants are one of 2 teams in the league that does not have a single division win? Everybody watching live in the chat, if you want to, everyone watching live in the chat, if you want to take a guess who the other team is, I'll give the answer at the end of the breakdown. You get no prize, but you can always brag to your friends, I guess. That's something. But this is the second week in a row, Andy, to your point with the turnovers, that we have an underdog on Thursday Night Football coming off a game where they turned the ball over a bunch. Last week, of course, it was the Niners. They were -4 in turnover margin the previous game against the Jaguars. Well, guess what they did? They obviously bounced back and beat the Rams outright. Interesting stat about teams that turn over the ball a lot here. So you go back to 2020. Teams that come off a game where they had 4 or more turnovers, 71, 51, and 6 against the spread the following week. So almost 60%. Pretty profitable situation there. Giants hope that trend continues because, as you mentioned, Andy, they turned it over 5 times last week in a pretty pathetic loss to the Saints. That game really swung on an 86-yard fumble return for a touchdown. So that was the key of those 5 turnovers, because at the time it looked like the Giants were going to go in, take the lead. Instead, Scatterbo fumbles. It's returned all the way to the house. G-Men lose 26-14. Jackson Dart, you mentioned him. He spells his name with an X. I don't know about that, but I do know that he's led the Giants to a touchdown on the opening drive each of his 2 starts. It's probably not going to happen every game, but it's something worth monitoring. Brian Daboll, the head coach for New York, he's clearly scripting the beginning of the game well for his rookie quarterback. But my bet here, it's more about just wanting to fade the Eagles, Andy. It's something I did last Sunday, and Denver +4.5 ended up being an outright winner. Yes, Philadelphia's still 4-1 on the season, but none of those 4 wins have been by more than 7 points. This is a team, guys, the Eagles. They are -0.9 in yards per play differential. To put that number in perspective, the Giants are -0.8 in yards per play differential. So give me the +7.5 here Home dogs getting 7 or more in a division game, that's historically profitable. It's a low total here as well, so you got to think points are at a premium. Having that 7.5-point head start with the G-Men seems like the way to go for me. And if I don't know if anyone got the question right, but the other team besides the Giants without a division win going back to the start of last season, would you like to take a stab, Andy? As I see you scratching your chin, I'll give you a second to think. Who the
Is
other
it the
team
Tennessee Titans?
Surprisingly, it is not. That is a very good guess, though.
I'm trying to think of just the worst of the worst. Jets?
It is the team,
I don't know.
It is the team that will be playing the Titans this week. The Las Vegas Raiders do not have a division win going back to the start of last season. So Raiders and Giants are the two teams. Oh, there we go. Somebody got it.
Got some correct ones in there.
Many people got it. Again, your prize will be on the way. Just send Andy your address. He'll take care of the cash. All right. There you go. G-Man
Guys, do not post your address in the chat. Do not post your address in the chat. All right. Bold take, taking the Giants. But, yeah, they get that key number. Question, if it was 6.5. Yes.
Well, I understand that Dan isn't here today, so that made it a little easier to say Giants plus 7.5.
If it was 6.5, you still taking Giants, or is that a layaway? You get the key number?
The key number helps. I'm not going to lie to you. But, I mean, the Eagles, look, obviously the Giants, they stink, but it's not, again, the Eagles have not been a dominant 4-1. I mean, I laid out people can go back to my page. They can see all the reasons I took Denver against them last week. You know, you hate to say it's a deserved close loss, but it was a deserved close loss for the Eagles after some of the pulling their feet out of the fire those first couple weeks.
I was with you 100%. I did a breakdown video on that game. I took the Broncos as well. Dan and I were talking. I think that was a great loss for Philly. They were kind of squeaking by. They needed to get a loss out of the way, regroup. Let's get back on track. I actually think the Eagles are going to be just fine. You don't want to be playing your best ball at the beginning of the season. I think you want to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, they'll tell you that from last year, certainly. I still think, I mean, if you just kind of want like my broad global thoughts, I still think the Eagles will probably win this division, the NFC East. I liked them under their win total and to win the division before the start of the season. I think those two things can certainly come about. But again, I'm not in the habit, Andy, of laying more than a touchdown on the road in a division game. So just kind of, I guess like the concept or whatever, the word escapes me that I'm looking for here. The Giants would be the play for me.
All right, it's $5 Tuesday. What do you have up for everyone?
Yeah, just want to go back to the weekend, guys. The weekend started great, Andy. I had my biggest college football play of the season, a 5% max bet. It was Cincinnati over Iowa State. Got a little hairy at the end, but Cincinnati was definitely the right side. That was when I thought it was going to be the start of a great weekend. Unfortunately, guys, the rest of the weekend was kind of a disappointment. At least we did have the Jaguars last night. You talk about teams that deserve to lose close, Andy. I don't think any team deserves to lose close more than the Kansas City Chiefs. When Joe Buck kept talking about that 11-0 stat from last year, I said, ooh, the regression gods could come smiling on us, and they did. So that was a nice win to cap the NFL week with the Jaguars. I wanted to point one thing out, too, about this show. Last 3 weeks, I am 6-0 when coming on the show with the picks I've given.
Wow.
Out. So Blue Jays team total over, which is a client play, a 2% client play, and that play on the Giants. Perhaps you would like to scribble that down on a piece of paper, everyone. And you should also scribble down on a piece of paper, wt.buzz/BP. That is where you go for a best bet in college football. As always, Andy, for $5 Tuesday, I like to choose a college football game where I think we're getting a good line right now. And I give it out for $5. Let's beat that line move. You get it for that great price of $5, 4% best bet. Only $5. Again, we won our biggest play of the season last Saturday with Cincinnati against Iowa State. And it'd be something if they beat Ohio State. But, yeah, go to my page right now and get that 4% best bet for just $5. Really like this one, and I recommend getting it now instead of later. Let's get that best available line.
Brian Power, everyone, and tell everyone about the Blitz every Thursday.
Yes, every Thursday we are talking college football for a full hour. We will talk any game you would like. Obviously, we highlight all of the biggest matchups each and every week, but it's driven by you guys, the show. If you guys, I see some familiar names in the chat right here that join us every week for the Blitz, again, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, immediately following you here on WagerTalk today. Any game you have a question, you want our opinion, me, Ralph Michaels, Ross Benjamin, we'll break it down for you. Happy to do so. Tune in live, best way, so that way you can get your questions answered.
Brian Power, everyone, thank you so much. Always a great segment. 6-0 run on these picks on the show. It is $5 Tuesday. All handicappers have a $5 pick up at WagerTalk.com. Mine is always on Contender Series. We only got 2 more weeks left of Contender Series, and we have a best bet that is up. We cashed last week, so if you want college football, we got plenty of those. We got MLB, we got those. You want Contender Series, we got you covered. Get as many $5 plays as you're comfortable with. We encourage you to get your favorite handicapper, try out some handicappers that you haven't tried before. Bet responsibly. We don't want too much of your bankroll in play on one night, but $5 Tuesday, great way to take advantage of all of the plays that we have up at WagerTalk.com. We're going to do some free plays with all around the world after Prez, and then I'm going to give you a little Contender Series breakdown. But let's bring in the Prez right now. And
yes, let's.
All right, Prez. I think your mic might be on the computer, not necessarily the mic there. But we have a couple things to show you.
Really?
Yeah. We have a couple things to show you. One is a picture of the ring girl in one of the fights that I researched for Contender Series, and the other. Let's start with Bill Sandoval's comment. He says, Andy, Prez was ripping the prop picks that you and Andrew had yesterday, and a lot of them hit. He pissed me off with his rant. What props did we do that you didn't like?
No idea. I don't even know that you had any prop bets. What I was ranting about is the stupidity of a guy is going to get a touchdown. We must take a touchdown prop or a sack prop, or is this the day somebody scores a goal? I don't buy those props. I don't make those props. I think those props are the same as a warranty at Best Buy. I think the books lick their chops when people make them. Now, with all that said, if Andy and Andrew have figured out a way to beat an impossible, unbeatable, insane market, bam! Buy their plays. It's $5 Tuesday. I cannot win in playing that game. I have, you sit there, and I did the math last year on this nonsense, Andy. Take Austin Matthews scores 70 goals one year, got to 69, but let's go with 70 goals in 82 games. So that would mean that if you paid, you would have to be paying a fortune. I can't remember, a fortune every time he plays, because he's averaging basically 1 goal a game, but he's not, because there were like 20 games where he scored 2 goals. There were 4 games that year where he scored 3 goals.
Okay.
So when you look at it from that perspective, there is no way that there's any value betting goal props or sack props or touchdown props unless you know something I don't, which strangely you do, because you can beat that market and I can't. And I think that 99.9% of people playing the touchdown goal market cannot beat it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I mean, Andrew and I do the show on Monday for fun, and yeah, we were spot on the show. I had Kelsey anytime touchdown. We had Lawrence under passing touchdowns. I had Mahomes over attempts, all that stuff. All right, now I got to show you something funny. All right, Prez. So I researched Contender Series, and you're looking at a lot of regional fighters fighting in some very small promotions, and you see some weird things. I saw something I have never seen before, and I would like to show you. So let's pull up this photo. One of the fighters.
What? Oh, no.
So that is the ring girl in one of the promotions that one of the fighters is fighting. Never seen anything like it before in my life. I did a double take, a triple take, a quadruple take. But yes, we will be breaking down.
Andy, I'm not going to give any thoughts on any of this, dude. I want to stay not canceled.
I agree. But anyway, but we have no opinion on that photo. It was just something we thought we should share with everybody. So, all right, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk some actual sports here. You got the Broncos and the Jets. This is a London game. Denver open -5.5, blown through 5.5, 6.5. -7. I'm seeing 7.5s Interesting stat now. Justin Fields is now 0-26 when the opposing team scores over 21 points. He needs to be in these low scoring games. And the over-under is 43.
He's not going to be in one this game, Andy.
Okay, how do you break down Broncos and the Jets?
Okay, before I get into that, I just want to end this prop market stuff. Jesse Shule is in there. Jesse Shule is a prop betting god. And I'm prop bets. I'm okay if you bet over yards, over passing, over rushing yards. I gave out 3 prop bets last night on WagerTalk last call. Over Etienne yards, I lost. Over Trevor Lawrence's rushing yards, I won. Over Pat Mahomes' rushing yards, I won. I went 2-1 in props. I'm specifically talking about touchdown and goal props. Okay, this game, let's break this down for you guys. So I got 2 bets for you in this game, Andy, and both of them are team totals. I'm not going to look at the over in this game. Now, I understand that I'm going to take the over both team totals. I like that bet better than the over in this game specifically. So Denver over 27.5 points against the New York Jets. I'll break that down real quick, Andy. Denver has gone over 27 points 2 of the 5 games. Now, 21 against Philadelphia, that's a real legitimate defense. 20 against the Chargers, I think they have one of the best secondaries in all of football. And 20 against Tennessee, an anomaly game. That was the first game of the season. They're playing the New York Jets. The New York Jets have allowed over 27.5 points in every game this year but one. The one game they did not allow over 27.5 points was against Miami, in which they got 27 points. The Jets allowing points. So the Jets are allowing 37, 27, 29, 30, and 34. The Broncos can score, take over 27.5, and that is plus money, Andy, plus 110. As far as the New York Jets, I like over 16.5 for the New York Jets. They have gotten 22, 21, 27, 10, and 32. That means that they've gone over the total of 16.5 in every game this year but one. As far as Denver's defense goes, they allowed 17 against Philadelphia and 3 against Cincinnati, 12 against Tennessee, but they did allow 23 and 29 against the Chargers. The over on the New York Jets, I don't like as much as the over in Denver, but the Jets are going to have to keep pace somehow, some way. I think they can get us to 17 points. I like over team total in this game for both teams instead of the over on the entire game.
All right. Well, Diana says we sound like idiots.
Andy, I always find it fascinating. Who is the idiot? The idiot or the person listening to the idiot? Like you get paid to be on this show. I own WagerTalk. Diana decides on her own accord to listen to 2 idiots.
Hey, what are you gonna do? Sorry,
who's the idiot?
Listen. Hey, sometimes pot's calling the kettle black. Diana,
With
don't
that
forget
said,
to like
I'm so
and
appreciative that Diana is here, and we love you, Diana. Michael Jackson did a song about you. We appreciate you. Please continue to comment. And I've been called way worse than an idiot.
Just this morning.
Yeah. Andy, can I hijack? Can I hijack?
Hijack away. Okay,
so we run a show called The Best Betting Show Ever. It's with me, Joe Ranieri, and Art DeCesar. It's a great show to watch. It's funny as hell. It's jam-packed with information. Yes, what I asked people recently to put up a dating profile for Joe Ranieri. A gentleman named Matt Bartley put it up. It's if you listen to yesterday's show, I read the whole dating profile. It is freaking spectacular. But I do want to highlight a couple of things. This is Joe Ranieri's dating profile. About me, they say Love is a gamble. Good thing I handicap. My safe word is push. What a line. What a line, Andy. My safe word is push. Are you kidding me?
Is that real?
I once romanticized a money line dog so hard it ghosted me.
What the hell, man?
I mean, this guy, my hobby is whispering sweet nothings like closing line value in your ear.
He spells love, CLV.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to read it all, but it was someone who understands that line movement isn't about dance skills. It was so well written, dude. This guy nailed it. I just wanted to bring some levity and joy to our show.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Dating profile. I got some friends that use the dating profiles, and I'll just say I'm glad I'm married. And
Okay, with that said, let's take a shot at a dating profile for Andy, everybody. Put up in the comment section of WagerTalk today, if you were Andy and single and writing a dating profile, what would it be? So,
well, it's the most obvious one is what the phrase that's been floated around the show, how they said I should open the show. It's time to bang with Andy Lang. I think that's the opening line on my dating profile.
It's time to bang with Andy Lang. The amount of Diana, what do you think about that slogan? My Lord.
I think I'd have more women signing up than I knew what to do with. So,
hockey starts today.
Yeah, we're gonna do a hockey prop here. I like Carter Verhaeghe to have a point. What teams are you high on and not high on going into the season?
Well, high, I'm looking at like win-loss kind of things. So my favorite win over is Seattle. I think Seattle, they've dropped the line too as well, a couple of points. So I like Seattle over in wins, and I like Pittsburgh under in wins. So those are the only two sort of from that perspective. I know people are running. Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I'm using a different mic for some reason. I also don't like Montreal to make the playoffs, and it's not that I don't think they won't make the playoffs. I think there's just no value there. We got Detroit, Ottawa, Buffalo, all up-and-coming teams with Montreal. I think at even money, you're better off taking Montreal to not make the playoffs.
Yeah, Carmine was talking about Pittsburgh, and I'd have to agree. When you have player props and you're betting on the same guy, you end up watching the same team over and over and over again. And last year, towards the end, I was betting on the Penguins. Yeah, they don't look too great this year. They were really struggling. I'm not sure what the upside to that team is.
Yeah, they're playing tonight too, so we're going to find out quick. With that said, given how old they are, if Pittsburgh's going to win 10 games, they're going to win them early.
Yes, they're going to fall apart as the longer the season goes on. Agree completely. So, all right, Prez, it's $5 Tuesday. What do you have up over at WagerTalk?
Well, thanks for asking, Andy. I have a NHL play that goes tonight. It's a 3% play. You can get it over at WagerTalk for only $5. Obviously, as you all know, NHL is my sport. I was the number one NHL expert last year. I'm likely going to be the number one NHL expert again this year. And we have incredible NHL bettors over at WagerTalk. I also have a 4% NFL total bet. I had a 4% NFL total bet last week up for $5 Tuesday. It was the over in one of the games. It won. It won. I honestly can't even remember what it was. I think it was the Seattle. Yeah, it was Seattle Tampa Bay over. So that game won. I have the same style of play up for $5. My NFL is 62% on the season. I'm up over 20 units of profit. So I'm ecstatic with that. And also, Andy, make sure everybody to tune in on Sunday for the End Zone show. I know you're not going to be doing the Sunday, right?
Probably not. You guys have a million people on that show.
But I need you the following Sunday, Andy, because I'm out of town.
Okay, just let me know. Just let me know. So, by the way, the ego, the cojones, the bravado that you have to come on there and say, I'm likely going to be the number one in an NHL handicapper again. I mean, just next level with you. I was number one last year, and I'm likely to be. The season hasn't even
Brother, I
started.
chose the name The Prez. My show is called The Best Betting Show Ever. Arrogance is my game. Narcissism is my name.
It's always great.
Justin P. There will be no blue line this year. Matthew Barnaby cannot do it on a daily basis, but we will be bringing Matt into the fold occasionally in the Best Betting Show Ever. And yes,
Awesome.
The Prez doesn't lack confidence, of course.
I'm glad we're able to get Matthew Barnaby sprinkled in a little bit. That was awesome.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
He's really good. He's really good. So, all right, Lawrence, thank you so much. Great breakdown. It's NHL season. Good luck to your Leafs, and hopefully you got a good season ahead of you. I think your team.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. All right. Again, $5 Tuesday. Every handicapper can put up a $5 Tuesday play. The lines have just come out for my Contender Series play. That is going up right as soon as this show is over. So go grab that. We're coming off a really nice win on Tuesday. We're coming off a 5% win on Saturday in UFC. So we got a 5% UFC play that is up for this weekend. And we'll have our $5 Tuesday play. Go get the $5 Tuesday play. Make a deal. I'll get the $5 Tuesday play. If it wins, then you go get the 5% UFC play. Let's make that deal. All right, Chris, let's do it all around the world. Got to do a player prop for the Panthers and the Blackhawks. I was right behind Prez in units 1 last year in NHL. I gotta get him. I gotta get him this year. I gotta one up him. We're gonna take Carter Verhaeghe to have a point. Yeah, he has a point in 7 out of the last 8 games against the Penguins. He's got a point in 19 out of the last 30 games. You got injuries to Barkov and Kachuk that leaves a lot of points available. I think this Panthers team is deep, but the big-name guys are going to have to score points. So I like Verhaeghe to get a point tonight. Carlos Rodon, over 14.5 outs. I'm just playing the trends here. Over in 4 straight against Toronto, and this is crazy. He's gone over this in 19 out of the last 20 starts. Yesterday, we rode this trend with Luzardo. He easily went over that, so we'll go back to Rodon over 14.5 outs. I lost the free darts play I gave out yesterday. Let's try and get it again. Mike DeDecker minus 1.5 sets over Peter Wright. Peter Wright, if you don't know, he's the ultimate fade in darts. This man used to be a world champion, and he's completely lost his way. The last time they played, DeDecker killed him. Wright is 2-10 in his last 12 matches. So we'll take DeDecker minus 1.5 sets over Peter Wright. He is the ultimate fade machine. All right. There you go. How Johnny Jumpman. There you go. There's a darts play. This World Grand Prix of darts is going to be going on all week. So hopefully we can stack some winners for you. All right, Chris, let's bring up the Contender Series graphic. Every Tuesday, I try and make the case for the underdogs. These are not official bets. I'm just trying to make the case here. So we'll start at the top. Lucas Caldas against Zainikov. So the case is Caldas is a good fighter. He's got big-time power. Zainikov likes to take guys down and control them on the ground, but I don't think his striking is that good. If Caldas keeps this on the feet, Caldas is live for a knockout. So there is a little bit of value there on Caldas. The next fight is very, very close. The case for Luna is he's tall, he's got long arms and legs, and if he gets us to the ground, he will absolutely dominate his opponent. His opponent is short, is stocky, he's got big-time power. Luna's no joke. He can use that length and reach, and he's got really, really good ground control and submission game. So if he gets it on the ground, he's absolutely live. Rodriguez against Roque. I don't know. I don't think Roki's that good. I actually think Rodriguez is going to win. He's got a lot of experience. He's coming off of the Ultimate Fighter. We had a really good showing. The guy he lost to ended up winning the whole thing. But Roque does have power, and it's Contender Series. 2 guys stand there and try and bang. Roque can spark him a little bit. I just think Rodriguez is going to be a little bit better with his movement. So Not a strong opinion on Roki. The next fight is basically a pick'em. That's going to be a car crash. Someone's going to sleep. So anytime you have two big guys that are going to stand and bang, that is going to not go the distance. Okay, Luke Fernandez and Rafael Pergantino. Pergantino is the one that fought with the special ring girl. I will just tell you, I think Pergantino might be the worst fighter I have ever done tape study on in my entire career. Definitely the worst fighter I've seen this season on Contender Series. Luke Fernandez is a prospect that the UFC really wants. Fernandez is a killer. He can knock guys out. He can wrestle. He can grapple. And this Pergantino guy has about 2 or 3 minutes of cardio. He looked terrified at face-offs. I cannot make a case for Pergantino. Unless he comes out and swings like a windmill and accidentally hits Fernandez, that's about it. But Pergantino is in for a rough night. So that's a breakdown on Contender Series. Right after the show, I'm going to do a full breakdown video on these fights. That'll be up on the Wager Talk channel. And guys, we do our live show every Tuesday on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. Please join us. The live bets have been absolutely fantastic. We get great tidbits of information. We break down all the fighters that get contracts, so you get all those notes when they make it to the UFC. And it's just a hell of a lot of fun to watch Contender Series live. So join us tonight. We'll root on the $5 Tuesday play, and it's always going to be a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what props you're liking tonight. Tell us what you like in NHL. NHL season is back, baby. And we're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck on all your bets. Take advantage of $5 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.